नो, तो हम लोग पहले दिन ही बात किए थे. When I said, then I said that you can't delete row and column, you can't add row and column. Because वो अगर होने से, then in that case, student will be able to connect internet for that reason. That is not possible in any exam, CPA, CIMA, any exam. Insertion of row and column is not possible. You need to copy paste. वही करना होगा. You need to do copy paste. ठीक है, I don't remember कि कौन सा. Let's see. Opening good. Not, I will say that ki if we can do copy paste, that's okay. They say that ki in place of addition or deletion of rows and columns, if you find that something you have missed, then they say that you can do copy paste function. Because how many rows or columns in between you will leave? So this is the first question. The purpose of doing the question paper on practice platform. Two things, as I said earlier. One is when you will be giving exam, this is the screen you will be getting. So you are habituated with the screen. Then when you do the practice platform, if you are doing the question on normal Excel or normal Word file, there are many features you are getting which you will not be getting in the exam. So maybe something you can do faster on a normal Excel or Word. When you are in the exam hall, you will find that, अरे ये क्यों नहीं हो रहा है? For that reason, we need to be habituated with what is allowed and not allowed. The second thing, if you are doing a question on a normal Excel or Word file, then I think that the comfort level is better as compared on the institute screen. Because you can minimize the question and all that. Here you need to open all the folders continuously or maybe remain open. So that habit need to be developed. The key exam mein I will be getting this. The third thing, you are not getting the answer to see here. We have the habit that once we open the question solve करे बगैर हम लोग आंसर देखना चाहते. Maybe not fully. Some of the answer, some portion we see and then we start solving. So here you will get the answer once you solve entire paper. Next thing, here you are solving the paper exactly in 3 hours. When you have full free 3 hours, then you should be opening this paper. In our class, I am not completing the entire paper 3 hours because our purpose is to understand. Not that my purpose is to solve the paper for myself to submit. My purpose is to explain you the concepts in the class 2 times, 3 times. So maybe we are not completing in 3 hours. But when you do the question paper on practice platform, you have to have the 3 hours exactly. Or 3 hours complete hone ke baad. If your question paper is not complete, submit it. Because you need to think that you are sitting in the exam hall. After submission, as I gave the instructions, you can check the model answers, marking guidelines. You can compare your answers. You can see which are the weak areas. And you will be working on your weak areas for coming 2-3 days. So that next mock paper you will be doing after 4-5 days. But you said na you did March 19 paper. You have not done on the screen. Screen pe kariye. No, I mean to say screen on practice platform screen. You did on practice platform screen. Okay. Your Padam. Because Vishal said that he did March 19 paper. Okay. Yes, I was thinking that Vishal is saying. So Vishal, you said that you did March 19 paper. But March 19 paper, if you are doing, not a problem, whatever. But when you are doing the paper from the mock paper, that is past term papers, there the screen is not opening like this. If you attempted the paper on practice platform, either Specimen, practice 1, 2, whatever number of papers are given, if you did that, then only the screen will be opening like this. I got assigned one paper. Institute has assigned one paper. Not getting exactly.
सर एक्चुअली जब हम प्रैक्टिस प्लेटफॉर्म ओपन करते हैं तो वहाँ पे एएफएम में अलग अलग सेक्शन आते हैं कि कौन सा हमको सिलेक्ट करना है तो अपन चाहे तो प्लेलिस्ट को कर सकते क्वेश्चन कर सकते तो उन्होंने वो सर ऐसा ये बोल रहा है कि मैंने नहीं सिलेक्ट किया था ऑप्शन करने का
माने अगर पीडीएफ वाले पेपर में जाते हैं जो
पीडीएफ नहीं अपना जो प्रैक्टिस प्लेटफॉर्म है ना उसमें भी जाते हैं प्रैक्टिस प्लेटफॉर्म के अंदर जाते हैं तो जहाँ पेपर है जैसे भी आप आपने बताया ना जहाँ पे पेपर कि स्पेसिफिक पेपर है बाकी 3 पेपर फर्स्ट टाइम वाले हैं बस
तो वही तो मैं बोल रहा हूँ कि अगर प्रैक्टिस प्लेटफॉर्म में जाकर अपने सेलेक्ट करेंगे, जो मैंने खोला, मैं गया नहीं वहां 4 कितने है, मैं बोला कि अगर इसको प्रैक्टिस प्लेटफॉर्म को खोलेंगे तभी तो ये स्क्रीन आएगा ना. अगर अपने पीडीएफ पेपर खोलेंगे तो ये स्क्रीन थोड़ी ना आएगा. मैं वो बोल रहा हूं. तो इस विशाल जब बोल रहे हैं कि दिसंबर 18 या मार्च 19, तो हम लोग को यहाँ पता नहीं है कि ये कौन सा पेपर है उसी में से. मैं नहीं बोल रहा, लेकिन ये दिसंबर 18 है कि मार्च 19 है, वी डोंट नो. So you did the practice paper 1, 2 or 3, anyone that you are saying. It is given, दिया हुआ है. पता नहीं, मेरे को तो प्रैक्टिस पेपर लिखा हुआ है. This is specimen, but then the balance 2 or 3, whatever is there, they are written practice 1, practice 2 and all that. Practice test 1. ऐसा बोल कर दिया हुआ है ना. क्या होगा यार. ये स्पेसिमेन ही खुल गया. We can identify which paper is that. I am not questioning, because that is out of past papers only. yes. मैं बोल रहा हूं, खाली मेरा इतना बोलना है कि अपने अगर इंस्टीट्यूट वेबसाइट पे, प्रैक्टिस प्लेटफॉर्म पे वी आर डूइंग पेपर्स, इट इज बेटर and exactly in 3 hours. That is my advice. I am just saying this only, because इससे you will be able to practice better. Now I'm not going into further deep into this question, just that they have given company background in point number 1, then proposal setting up treasury function to hedge foreign currency and interest rate. Matlab it is related with interest rate and foreign currency. Then financial details relating to hedging for proposal 1. What is that hedging? But normally they are related with foreign exchange or interest rate risk. Setting up for international branches with production facilities and sales team, and the views of the non-executive directors on the 2 proposals. So there are 2 proposals, one is hedging, one is I think relating to opening of branches for production and sale, we need to give our comment or our views relating to the two proposal. Just that I'm navigating this. Then the second question. In second question, it is relating to an introduction to burning company proposed investment project, net present value and initial net present value, notes relating to initial estimate in exhibit 2, information relating to financing effect. मेरे को लग रहा है second one is APB because financing effect is APB. That means the second question is focusing on APB. And now the third one is relating to introduction to HV company, information about standard company and acquisition target mergers, financial information relating to H&S, details of the 3 suggested acquisition methods, maybe valuations and all that. So mergers, acquisitions, valuations is the third one. The second one is relating to mainly APB. The first one is relating to foreign exchange risk, interest rate risk and all that. If I am in the exam hall, my first objective is that in which I am the best. That is my confidence level in which area is very high. I will be opening that portion only first. It's not that I have to start with the first question only. The area in which my confidence level is very high, I think that I am best for that area. I am interested in opening that question in exam hall first. Like in the normal paper pen based exam, we can do any question earlier. Similarly, yahan bhi. Now, suppose I am very good in the valuation part, mergers and all that. Very good doesn't mean that I will be wasting my time. When something is very good, that means I need to save my time here. Normally, for reading the scenario and all that, understanding will take some time. Then only we can start writing the answers. Nobody, neither me or you or nobody in the world can start writing answers for any question exactly in 1 second. We have in total 180 minutes. 180 minutes for 100 marks. That means 1.8 minutes. The two questions which are second and third, they are 25 marks each. So 25 into 1.8, around 40 minutes. 25 into 1.8, not 40, sorry. 25 into 1.8 will be coming around 45 minutes. 45 and 90 minutes. Okay. Now 45 minutes each for reading, planning, writing, everything. Maybe in one of the question in place of 45, you are taking 47, 48 minutes. Maybe maximum 50. But if you are going to take in a part B question, say 55, 60 minutes, paper chutne wala hai, guarantee. Because it's not that if something is easy, that means we start writing those things which are not asked in the question, since we know we are wasting our time and then we are puzzled at the end that the areas which are difficult, we are not getting even adequate time to write the answer. आपको ये समझना है. Now there are many requirements. Maybe suppose in this 25 marks, there are 2 requirements or 3 requirements. For 2 requirements, I know the answer very well. The third one मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है. बाद में करेंगे. We will do later. But don't waste your time initially. First of all, select out of the 3 which one you want to proceed based on your confidence level. In that there are different parts of the question, 1, 2 or room A, B, C, D. In one of the part you are not confident, बाद में देखा जाएगा. No issue. Complete those parts which are easier for you, which you can do faster. Lekin the part which you are doing initially, try to save your time. Because you are starting that part, because you are thinking that you are best in that. तो अगर उसमें 10 मिनट लगाने के आप 8 मिनट लगाइए. Save 2 minutes. Because then only in the difficult part you will be able to give your time. Now as a thumb rule, when I am saying 45 minutes, generally around 15 to 20% will be time will be in reading and planning. It may be different for different students. As a general thumb rule we are saying कि 15% से 20% time will be going in reading and planning the answers. At that time, you cannot start anything. So out of 45 minutes, if I am saying 9 minutes or say 10 minutes, I am reading, planning and thinking what should be written. So I am getting effectively out of 45, 35 minutes to write the answer. In 35 minutes, if there are two parts, I need to check what is the marking allotted to them. Suppose, मैं ये क्वेश्चन नहीं कर रहा हूं, मैं ऐसे ही बात कर रहा हूं. Requirements. There are 3 requirements and these 3 requirements need to be answered in 35 minutes. 9 marks, 6 marks, 10 marks. I have for 25 marks, 35 minutes to write. I have already given 10 minutes in reading and planning everything for all the 3. वो मैंने कर लिया है. Now I am going to exactly writing, typing, doing calculations and all that. So 25 marks, 35 minutes. You can say around 1.4 minute. So 9 marks ke liye you have 9 into 1.4. I generally say around 1.5. But because 0.3 minutes I have taken in reading, planning and everything. So 9 into 1.5 is coming around 12-13 minutes. If it is a theoretical answer, and maybe I am very habituated, very fast in typing, that's other thing. But normally in 1 minute theory, we can type 1.5 line. Even though my speed is not good, by looking at the keys on the keyboard, I can type 1.5 line in 1 minute. So if 12-13 minutes, that means a 20 line answer. I need to summarize everything, whatever I am thinking in theory, in 20 lines. You will say that, sir, they have written in the suggested answer 40 lines. वो लोग, again I am reminding, they have not written the answer in 35 minutes. They have not written the answer with their own understanding. They have used books, open that, the teachers, the 7-8 faculties who had written model answer, combined that, then it is given. The model answers are given for tutorial, not that they expect that the student can write that answer. Lekin when we are reading model answers, suppose I have written 2 points, they have written 5 points. I need to see that these 3 points I was not thinking. I need to focus my area there only. And when a paper is finished, when your analysis is over, when you are doing mock paper, then make a note. Exam 10 दिन बाद है, लेकिन आपको एक बार ध्यान तो रखना होगा ना. This thing I need to revise later. In this question, this portion I will be revising before the day of exam. Because what you will study on one day before the exam, there is no rule. It's all the areas where you have pinpointed that मेरे को ये area revise करना है. So I will say that normally if you take writing time around 1.4, 1.5 times, and then the typing theory will be done in that time. Maybe sometimes numerical take more time. Suppose 9 marks is numerical. आपका इसमें 12-13 minutes जाना चाहिए, 15-17 minutes चला गया. तो आपको 6 और 7 marks, 10 marks के लिए adjustment करना होगा. Because you can't give in place of 35 minutes, 55 minutes. Then गड़बड़. 35 के बदले maybe you are giving 40 minutes. चलेगा. तो आपका पूरा का पूरा time management एकदम proper होना चाहिए. You can't leave a question. I have passed any exam in my life only because of one reason. Never left a single marks in exam. Never. चाहे मेरे को आए नहीं आए, लेकिन मैंने कभी भी एक नंबर का भी क्वेश्चन छोड़कर नहीं आया. लास्ट में जो समझ में आया लिख दिए. Negative marking is not there. But if I am not writing anything, maybe I could have got 2-3 marks on that. जो भी मेरा बुद्धि था. If I have not studied properly, then तो I cannot pass only. तो उसका बात ही नहीं कर रहे. But if I have studied properly, then I need to pass. How can I fail? So the first criteria for passing is to complete the entire paper in exam. You can't say after the exam over, sir 5 नंबर का छूट गया. मैं यही बोलूंगा, कोई बात नहीं. लेकिन अभी मैं बोल रहा हूं, क्यों छूट गया 5 नंबर? क्यों? So when you practice on practice platform, the problem of not completing the paper in 3 hours will not arise. ये सबसे जरूरी है. And the students, when I am sending the message कि practice platform पे practice करो, बोलता है सर मॉडल आंसर्स कहाँ हैं? अरे मेरे भाई, यहां पर भी अगर बगल में आंसर दे देंगे तो ये जो क्वेश्चंस है, these questions are there from the past term papers only. This is not new. So if you want the PDF answer Kaplan BPP में तो है, फिर इसको खोल के करना ही क्यों है? If here also I want to see the answers, that means I want to waste my time. The practice platform is given that we need to practice exactly in 3 hours the question paper and then submit, then see the evaluation, improve ourselves, time management, ये सब सोचना है. बिकॉज एग्जाम अब कोई 2 महीना बाद नहीं है, एग्जाम 10 दिन बाद है. सो वो मोड में आना पड़ेगा ना. A person will any project when he has fully planned that how he will be doing the project. अगर प्रोजेक्ट को कैसे करना ये मन में बैसा ही नहीं है, we have not fixed in our brain, we can't pass. Suppose it's a CIMA exam, objective type. 60 questions will not be easy, will not be difficult. Some of the questions will be very difficult. Even I will be finding problem in the given time of exam to solve them. यहां पर भी हो सकता है मैं नहीं कर पाऊं. क्वेश्चन वो नहीं है. क्वेश्चन ये है कि मैं कोई क्वेश्चन नहीं कर पा रहा, उसके कारण कैन आई फेल. दैट मीन्स व्हाट आई स्टडीड. द फेलियर विल अराइज ओनली वन रीजन, दैट आई हैव नॉट स्टडीड प्रॉपरली. अदरवाइज फेलियर विल नॉट अराइज. अगर मेरा कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर है एंड आई एम डन मॉक पेपर्स, आई एम रेडी फॉर दैट, डेफिनेटली आई विल पास. मैं फेल होऊंगा ही नहीं. दैट इज, यू कैन से, अ बेसिक आइडिया. Now, which one we should do first? Padam, you have done that. Which one we should be doing first? The third number only. Okay. Merger. So first we go into background of the company. If we arrange our screen in that way, it will be better. कि left hand side में 1, 2, 3, 4 I can click any time, and I have made this maximum possible in the exam hall also, so that I can read the sentences properly. Arranging your screen is also an art in the exam, because these things we will not be able to understand unless and until we don't open the exam screen. First, read requirements. Yes, I was just saying that कि मान लीजिए मैं अगर एग्जाम हॉल में हूं, ये मैं बंद नहीं करूंगा. नाउ आई एम नॉट क्लोजिंग दिस. और मे बी इफ आई एम गेटिंग कंफ्यूज विद सो मेनी सीट्स, देन इन दैट केस आई विल क्लोज दिस. बट मेरे को लगता है क्लोज नहीं करना चाहिए. एक बार जो स्क्रीन का आपको बाद में जरूरत पड़ेगा एंड यू हैव ऑलरेडी ओपनड इट, लीव इट ओपन. आप जब रिक्वायरमेंट खोलेंगे अपने आप यहां आ जाएगा. अगेन वी अरेंज आवर सीट लाइक दैट. थोड़ा उसके नीचे कर दी. Then increasing the size. Sometimes it happens that when we are doing the questions on practice platform, and maybe because of high usage all over the world, कभी कभी screen आगे पीछे होता नहीं है, माने the folder. Sometimes it happens. I've seen in the class also. But that will not happen in the exam hall. If we are in the exam hall, automatically वहां पर पूरा का पूरा security. But when you are doing questions on practice platform, sometimes it happens. Distinguish between the different types of synergy and discuss possible sources of synergy based on the above scenario. The question is distinguish between different types of synergy and discuss possible sources of synergy based on the above scenario. My first thing is that I will copy this. I will go in a Word file because it's a theoretical answer. इसका थोड़ा बड़ा कर दी. Paste it. Now, say I have written, even though not required, but I should written answer for question 3. A is already written. Now, I have divided this question into 2 parts. Discuss between the different types of synergy and discuss the possible sources of synergy based on above scenarios. There are 2 parts in this question. Distinguish between, because while writing the answers, maybe I don't focus that it is 2 parts. तो मैंने दोनों को separate कर दिया. Distinguish between the different types of synergy, which we will be able to understand when we read the story, and discuss possible sources of synergy based on the above scenario. I can say that the first part, distinguish between different types of synergy, is slightly technical type, and discuss possible sources of synergy based on the above scenario, which is basically related with the requirement, which is basically related with the scenario. Then again going into requirement, the second one, based on the two different options expressed by H company and S company, based on the two different options expressed by H company and S company, calculate the maximum acquisition premium payable in each case. That means it's a numerical part. Maybe I want to solve this in the Excel sheet. It's okay, but for the time being, I'm pasting that in the Word file only, so that the requirement one I don't have to open again. Based on the two different options expressed by H and C, calculate the maximum acquisition premium. I need to calculate maximum acquisition premium payable in each case. That is my objective here. Different types of strategy, and then possible sources of synergy based on the scenario. Whether you will do highlight or not, it's not important. Just that कि मेरे को समझ में ध्यान में ज्यादा है. Just for the class, I am saying that कि calculate the maximum acquisition premium payable in each case. Okay. Then comes the third one. This is also numerical. Calculate the percentage premium per share that S company's shareholders will receive under each acquisition payment method, and justify the explanation which payment method would be most acceptable to them. Percentage premium per share that S company shareholders will receive. Now, who is S? I don't know for the time being. With explanation, there are many parts in this question. The second one don't have many parts. The third one has many parts. Based on the above two options expressed, calculate maximum percentage premium. But this one is having many parts. Calculate the percentage premium for as company shareholder will receive under each scenario method. And then the second part, justify with the explanation which payment method would be most acceptable to them. So in part C also there are two requirements. One is the calculation and then justification that which is better for them. Okay? Now I can say that we don't require the requirement later, because we have already pasted in the Word file. This I am closing because the requirement is not required. Now going into the scenario. H company is a publicly listed company, listed company involved in the production of highly technical and sophisticated electronic components for complex machinery. Involved into highly technical and sophisticated electronic components for complex machinery. Machinery का parts बनाते हैं. It has a number of diverse and popular products. An active research and development department. Good R&D, many products, diversified products, significant cash reserves, huge cash balance, and a highly talented management who are very good in getting products to market quickly. Marketing is very good. So the USP of the company is diversified products, active research and development, good cash balance, liquidity is there, they can do the projects and they can market the products very well. The management has good skills of marketing anything. A new industry that H company is looking to venture into its biotechnology, which has been expanding rapidly, and there are strong indications that this recent growth is set to continue. So they are interested in going into biotechnology, looking to venture into each biotechnology. But presently they are not in the biotechnology on the outset, not looking like that, not a problem, which has been expanding rapidly, the biotechnology growing very well, and there are strong indications that this recent growth is set to continue. Recent growth, that means whatever the high growth is there, it is going to continue in future also. However, each company has limited experience in this industry. Therefore, it believes that the best and the quickest way to expand would be through acquiring a company already operating in this industry. That means takeover. Inorganic expansion, they are thinking in an industry where the growth is very high, but since they don't have experience of this industry, they are thinking of takeover. Maybe we will require this later to write some theoretical answer better. So the second part I have opened. The second part is strategy. Okay. As company is a private company operating in the biotechnology industry. Now the company which we are going to take over is a private company and is owned by consortium of business angels and company managers. Okay. Staff, company managers and angels. The owners managers are highly skilled scientists. The owner managers, those who are the managers and owning the company, they are highly skilled scientists who have developed a number of technically complex products, but have found it difficult to commercialize them. So one synergistic benefit is straight away coming. This company is very good in developing bio products, and our company is very good in marketing that. So synergy will be coming by mixing the two. They have also been increasingly constrained by the lack of funds to develop their innovative products further. They have also been increasingly constrained by the lack of funds, and we will help them to give our funds, that is our funds which is cash resources very much. We will be able to do innovation. They have also increasingly constrained by the lack of funds to develop their innovative products further. Okay. The innovative products are there, but for development the funds are required. They don't have. We have. So there are 2 points for synergies coming here. Discussion have taken place about the possibility of S company being acquired by H company. S company's managers have indicated that the consortium of owners is happy for the negotiation to proceed. That is the managers and owned by a consortium, business angels and company managers. They are interested. As company has indicated that the consortium of owners is happy for the negotiation to proceed. If S company is acquired, it is expected that its managers would continue to run the S company's part of the larger continued company. If S company is acquired, it is expected that its managers would continue to be run the S company's part of the larger combined company. Okay, that means the managers will not be left, and they should not be left because they have the knowledge of innovative product development and all that. S company is of the opinion that most of its value in its intangible assets, comprising intellectual capital. That means the valuation based on assets will be difficult. Valuation based on earnings will also be difficult because they are not able to do earnings properly. Maybe we need to do the valuation based on intangible assets separately. That is CIV method. Therefore, the premium payable on acquisition should be based on the present value to infinity of the after-tax excess earnings the company has generated in the past 3 years over the average return on capital employed of the biotechnology industry. The premium payable on the acquisition should be based on the present value to infinity of the after-tax excess earnings the company has generated in the past 3 years over the average return on capital employed of the biotechnology industry. Suppose the average return is 10%, but they are earning 12-13%. So for the 2-3%, there should be the premium we need to pay. The premium payable on acquisition should be based on the present value to the infinity, the number of the after-tax excess earnings, whatever the excess earnings, super profit you can say, has generated in the past 3 years over the average return on capital employed of the biotechnology. That calculation involved, I think. However, each company is of the opinion that the premium should be assessed or synergy benefits created by the acquisition. Each company is of the opinion that the premium should be assessed. Now the seller is thinking the premium should be like that, but the buyer, each company is thinking of that the premium should be assessed on synergy benefits created by the acquisition and the changes in value due to the changes in the price to earning ratio before and after the acquisition. So you can say acquirer think that it should be based on P ratio, synergy increase in the value, but the seller thinks that they should be getting the premium based on the increase in the earnings of last 3 years extra earnings based on the industry average. So we have given a background, the first paragraph relating to synergistic benefit. The second paragraph, the management employee of the company will remain in that division which we require also. The third paragraph is focusing on what the two companies are asking, what the acquirer and the acquiree are thinking of relating to the premium they should be getting. Okay. I'm not closing that because maybe that will be required later. Now the numerical data given. Given below are extracts of financial information for each company for 2013 and S company for 2011, 12, 13. So our data for only current year, their data for last 3 years. Our data, all the figures are in millions. Earning before tax 352, 370, 397. Their earning before tax is continuously increasing. Non-current assets, which generally does not include intangible assets in case of S, unless and until they have capitalized, but that may not be the correct value. Current assets, in our case, the current assets include huge portion of cash and bank balance, which they said. Share capital 0.25, so 600 by 0.25, 2400, and theirs is 1200. Okay. Reserves, our reserves is very high. Non-current liabilities, current liabilities. Okay. You can see picture of some financial data. The first portion is earning before tax and then the balance sheet picture. The current average P ratio of the biotechnology industry is 16.4 times. And it has been estimated that S company's P ratio is 10% higher than this. The P ratio of the industry is 16.4 times. But S company P ratio is 16.4 into 1.1 into 1.1. So which is around 18, I think, coming. Whatever. I'm not asking. However, it is thought that the P ratio of the combined company would fall to 14.5 times after the acquisition. But the combined company P ratio will be less than the industry average, less than 16.4. Okay. The annual after-tax earnings will increase by 140 million due to synergy benefits resulting from combining the two companies. The annual after-tax earnings will increase by 140 million due to synergy benefits resulting from combining the two companies. So you can say that our earning, their earning plus 140. The annual after-tax earnings will increase by 140 million due to synergy benefits resulted from combining the two companies. Okay. So one is the P ratio detail, one is the earnings detail. So that P into earnings we can do. Both companies pay tax at 20% per year, and S company's annual cost of capital is estimated at 7%. S company, the other company to whom we are going to take over, and the post-tax rate is 20%. H company's current share price is 9.24 per share. Our current value, 2400 into 9.24. The biological industry pre-tax return on capital employed is currently estimated to be 20% per year. The biotechnology industry pre-tax return on capital employed is currently estimated to be 20% per year. but we are earning greater than that. Because for that reason, the S companies persons are saying that we should be getting premium based on our extra earnings. The normal earnings profit before tax is 20%. But if we calculate our earnings 397, 370 plus 352, all added divided by 3, and then we divide the, what I should say, now they have written earning before tax. Whether it is earning before interest and tax, they have not mentioned. But they are saying in the below that capital employed is debt plus equity dono. I will assume whatever they are giving. No, tax deduct तो बाद की बात है. मैं ऐसा सोच रहा हूं कि पहला बात ये आ रहा है कि they are saying on the top the first line earning before tax, which is not before interest and tax. That means any person will assume based on the language it is after deducting interest. मन में तो यही मानना होगा, क्योंकि हम क्यों माने गलत दिया है. और नीचे they are saying that the industry average capital employed is 20%. तो हम लोग ये बोलेंगे कि हम लोगों का कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड है डेट प्लस इक्विटी, विच इज शेयर कैपिटल, रिजर्व्स एंड नॉन करंट लायबिलिटीज. इन सबको जोड़कर एवरेज निकाला जाएगा और एवरेज का 20% प्री टैक्स रिटर्न. दिस इज ऑल्सो दे आर सेइंग 20% प्री टैक्स. इंटरेस्ट का कोई कहानी नहीं है. सो वट एवर इज द प्री टैक्स इन द इंडस्ट्री इज कमिंग एंड आवर प्री टैक्स वट एवर एवरेज लेस करके बैलेंस इज प्री टैक्स एक्स्ट्रा अर्निंग minus tax will give you the balance which is for shareholders. शॉर्टकट कर सकते हैं मेरे ख्याल से. बार बार इंटरेस्ट लेस करने के बजाय we can do शेयर कैपिटल, retained earning and non current liabilities का एवरेज निकाल लिए all the 3 years, then into 20% will be giving you the average pre-tax earnings in the industry. But our average earning all 3 को ऐड करके by 3, our earning is greater than the industry. The difference उसमें से टैक्स 20% लेस कर दिए, देन द बैलेंस विच वी विल गेट उसको अपने यूज करेंगे प्रीमियम पे करने में. बिकॉज दे हैव सेड दैट कि प्रीमियम शुड बी बेस्ड ऑन दैट. 7% से प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ले आएंगे, जल्दी हो जाएगा मेरे ख्याल से. आंसर वही आएगा. अगर वो लोग कुछ और किए होंगे वी विल चेक. ठीक है. सो हियर द डेटा इज गिवन रिलेटिंग टू what I should say earning before tax, the balance sheet figures, P ratios and all that. P ratio से वैल्यूएशन करने के लिए क्या करना होगा? Their earnings per share, that is their pre-tax earnings minus tax, then the post-tax earnings. The post-tax earnings into 18 approximately will give their current value. Our current value is into 9.24. But after synergy, the total earnings of the two companies plus 140. The annual after tax earnings, पहले after tax दोनों का बना देंगे, then 140 add करेंगे, then into 14.5. So we will be getting as per H company what is the extra value because of the merger. So दोनों जगह से आ जाएगा. ठीक है. The figures are, the details are given. And then the last story. H company has proposed to pay for the acquisition using one of the following 3 methods. A cash offer of 5.72 for each S company shares. In that case, the other company shareholder will not be the shareholder of the combined company. They are getting cash. A cash offer of 1.33 for each S company share plus 1 H company share for every 2 standard company share. मतलब उसका 2 के बदले 1 शेयर एंड प्लस कैश ऑल्सो. A cash offer of 1.25 for each S company share plus $103% convertible bond for every 5 nominal value of standard company share. Okay. Their nominal value is 0.25. So basically 0.25, but for 5 nominal value we are going to give them a bond. So 5 by 0.25, how many shares? 20. Basically 20 into 20 shares के बदले we are going to give them a bond. ठीक है. The bond can be converted into 12 H company share or redeemed at nominal value in 6 years. The bond can be converted into 12H company share redeemed at nominal value. Matlab after 6 years, the bond either can be converted into shares or may be redeemed at face value. It's upon them. That three options they are giving using one of the following three alternatives. That is, the acquirer has proposed to the acquiree that these are the three options. Okay. Now we are going into our question. The first is distinguish between the different types of synergy. So we say operational synergy. We say financial synergy. We say what I should say. Financial synergy can be explained under bootstrapping. वहीं पर बोल देंगे. Bootstrapping we can discuss there only. Operational synergy means what? Operational synergy means because of the two companies coming together, there will be either increase in revenue, decrease in expenses, economies of scale. That is operational synergy. Financial synergy, we can say that either we can say because of the two companies coming together, their share value goes up, the risk diversification happens. That is financial synergy. And financial synergy also called bootstrapping. Ki bhai, our P ratio will be applicable for them. That also happens. The first portion, the synergy you need to mention as a general, different types of synergy. Because that is a technical type of question. Then if I will say possible sources of synergy in the above scenario, then it is specifically operational. Operational is what? Operational. Operational is relating to our marketing ability and their innovative products. The second is financial also. The financial synergy is we have cash resources. They don't have cash to develop the products. I mean to say to produce the product which has been developed. So we will be using our finance to convert those things which can be marketed earlier, which can be developed. Because for the development, the funds is required and we have the funds. So we will be utilizing their knowledge, which is relating to product development, innovations, and they will be utilizing our knowledge, our funds, and our marketing ability, which will help us to give the synergistic benefit realized. And no merger is advisable when there is no synergistic benefit. Is this a merger horizontal, vertical, or conglomerate merger? This type of merger which is given in the question is horizontal, vertical, or conglomerate. Which type of merger is this? Because we are in the totally different industry, we are acquiring a totally different industry. Some common function cost can be reduced. Obviously, we can say that suppose that much management staff is not required, we will be managing our marketing and our ability into their management. So there may be some cost saving also. There may be some financial synergy, which is, you can say, funds which we can utilize in their business, and operational synergy, which we are saying. The first question is of how much marks? Kitna number ka tha first question? 9 marks. So 9 marks mein what do you think? That is this the different types of synergy and the possible sources of synergy equally marked? कि 9 में से 4.5, 4.5 कि it is different. मेरे को लगता है कि फर्स्ट वाला slightly more than the second वाला, slightly 60-40. Reason being that first वाला में you are already creating an introduction. You are already taking all the synergies which are possible, and then you are using that write-up only that this synergy is possible here. So second wala write-up is based on the first write-up. Are you getting? So maybe हो सकता है कि exam में to explain synergy generally you are taking slightly longer time, but then when you are explaining the synergy based on the above scenario, you will take less time. or maybe a student can write the answers operational synergy लिखने के time पे, there only in the next paragraph he has written what operational synergy we will be getting. In place of making this answer as a two parts, maybe it can be one single part. One paragraph you are explaining operational synergy, another paragraph how that can be realized here, one paragraph you are explaining financial synergy, another paragraph you are explaining how can be realized here. It's different types of presentation, no hard and fast rule. बिकॉज मैंने दो पार्ट कर दिया, लेकिन हो सकता है स्टूडेंट विल राइटिंग द आंसर लाइक दैट, बट आंसर शुड बी रिटन इन पैराग्राफ फॉर्मेट. वन लाइन और टू लाइन इज नॉट अलाउड. यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन व्हाई दिस इज गोइंग टू बी अ सिनर्जिस्टिक बेनिफिट. उसमें से मान लीजिए सपोज यू आर फेसिंग सम प्रॉब्लम इन राइटिंग द आंसर, सो सपोज यू टेक दिस कॉपी एंड देन सपोज यू वांट टू पेस्ट इट. पेस्ट कर दिए यहां पर, इसको थोड़ा इधर उधर एडजस्ट कर दीजिए. यू कैन सेव योर टाइम बिकॉज इट्स नॉट अ रॉन्ग थिंग ना. व्हेन दे आर सेइंग हाउ कम एंड ऑल दैट, एच कंपनी ये सब थोड़ा नाम, एंड ऑन द टॉप ओनली यू कैन से एच ए वी वट एवर इज द नेम एज एच, शुरू में ही बोल दिए, एंड एस जो भी है शुरू में ही वर्ड यूज कर दिए एस, सो दैट इन राइटिंग you will be able to write faster. जैसे normally contract भी बनता है practical life में, agreement and all that. Suppose there is a contract between Saraf Academy and ACCA Institute. So every time it should not be written Saraf Academy, Association of Chartered Certified. कितना बार लिखेंगे? Saraf Academy in bracket SA, ACCA Institute in bracket ACCA. Then the agreement comes. Yes. Now, I mean to say first party, second party is a lawyer's language. We are not saying here first or second party. We are saying that to save our time, I will be using short form, H and S. The examiner will not deduct any single marks for me because I am very much professional in my approach, explaining that on the top only that I am going to use in my answer HAV limited as H and S limited as S. So I can save huge time. मे बी आपको एच या एस चार बार लिखना है. यू आर सेविंग एच एन एस, यू आर सेविंग टाइम ना. हर जगह ध्यान देना होगा. कैसे? समथिंग यू वांट टू यूज एज अ राइट अप विच इज गिवन इन द क्वेश्चन ओनली, उसको कॉपी पेस्ट करिए. देन इन दैट केस यू कैन सेव योर टाइम. लेकिन आप इंडियन एग्जाम्स में जैसे करते हैं सिनर्जिस्टिक बेनिफिट, ऑपरेशनल सिनर्जी, जैसे मैंने लिखा है नंबर लड्डू मिलेगा. व्हाट इज ऑपरेशनल सिनर्जी? यू नीड टू एक्सप्लेन. And then you need to explain how that is applicable here. तो मान लीजिए सब one student has seen the question, know the synergy, he has read synergy 4-5 times. वो एग्जाम में केवल synergy लिख के आ गया, उसने लिखा ही नहीं कि how this is applicable here, तो नंबर तो उसको नहीं मिलेगा ना प्रॉपर. Getting I am going forward, skipping this first part. Then based on the two different options expressed by H and S company, calculate the maximum acquisition premium payable in each case. Now whether this answer should be solved in Excel or Word file, if you think that you are going to make so many columns and all that, or maybe there are many calculations involved, then go in Excel. If you think that it's just 1 or 2 line calculation you need to write, आप यहीं पर वो लिख दीजिए. इट्स हैबिट और इट्स योर कंफर्ट लेवल. तो क्या लगता है कैलकुलेशंस बहुत है क्या? मल्टीप्लाई, डिवाइड, ये सब बहुत है क्या क्वेश्चन? नहीं, नो. मेरे को भी लगता है वर्ड में हो जाए, क्योंकि मेरे को कोई प्रेजेंट वैल्यू, टानामोनी ये सब बहुत कम करना है. जस्ट एनवीटी फॉर्मूला लगाना है, प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ परपीचुइटी, और तो कुछ करना नहीं है. So it is better that suppose we do this calculation. Third ना, थोड़ा छोटा कर देते एक बार. Where is the part which is given in columns and rows? This is my answer. एक बार इसको बंद करते हैं. Yes, yes. एक्चुअली ऊपर नीचे हो गए.
सर साइड में एग्जीबिट का हेडिंग है ना, उसमें हेडिंग में एग्जीबिट को 3 कॉपीज क्लिक करेंगे तो 3 टॉप आ जाएगा.
आ गया. ठीक बोले सर. ये ठीक बोला आपने. तो हम लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं कि पहले हम लोग कैलकुलेट कर रहे हैं. वी आर इंटरेस्टेड इन कैलकुलेटिंग द प्रीमियम एज पर द सेलर, as per the S company, what premium they want. So they are saying that on the basis of last 3-year earnings, whatever is the extra earning, present value of perpetuity they want. So they are saying that ki 7% is the cost of capital. Last 3-year earnings अपने कैलकुलेटर में निकाल लेते हैं, एवरेज प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्स और शेयर कैपिटल रिजर्व्स नॉन करंट लायबिलिटी अपने जोड़ लेते हैं. So we can write average capital employed in last 3 years. अब वो यहां पर प्लस प्लस करके दिखाना नहीं है, आप कैलकुलेटर में कर लीजिए. You do the calculation in calculator. You don't have to show plus 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 and all that. Can you do 300 plus 183? ये तो 300 सब में सेम ही है. बेसिकली इसको बाद में ही जोड़ लेंगे. 400 भी सेम ही है, बाद में ही जोड़ लेंगे. Because capital employed means debt plus equity ना. Don't you think? बट वो लोग बोल रहे हैं कि 20% ईच प्री टैक्स. ठीक है, हम लोग नॉन करेंट लायबिलिटी नहीं लेते, बट थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग है. कंफ्यूजिंग इन द सेंस आप सही बोल रहे हैं. When they are saying that it is 20% pre-tax, pre-tax means after interest. So better है केवल इक्विटी पे ही निकाला जाए. You are correct. So 183 plus 186 plus 159 divided by 3 plus 300, how much? 183 plus 166 plus 159 divided by 3. That is 400 only. But I am not taking that. You are correct. मैं ऐसा सोच रहा था कि ये 20% रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल इंप्लॉयड इज जनरली व्हाट, डेट और इक्विटी दोनों के ऊपर. बट दे हैव ऑलवेज यूज द लैंग्वेज प्री टैक्स रिटर्न. प्री टैक्स मींस आफ्टर इंटरेस्ट. सो दे आर सेइंग रिटर्न प्री टैक्स ऑन इक्विटी. ठीक ही बोल रहे हैं आप. सो 183 प्लस 166 प्लस 159 डिवाइडेड बाई 3. नहीं, मैं बोल रहा हूं कि नॉन करंट लायबिलिटी को ऐड करने में नहीं बोल रहा हूं. हाँ, तो वैसे ही माने इन्होंने करंट लायबिलिटी भी ऐड किया है क्या? नहीं तो नहीं, मेरा क्या बोलना है कि जैसे अगर नॉर्मली कोई भी किताब में गूगल भी सर्च करेंगे, देन रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल इंप्लॉयड मींस व्हाट? कैपिटल इंप्लॉयड इज डेट प्लस इक्विटी. कैपिटल इंप्लॉयड को हम लोग बोलते हैं डेट और इक्विटी दोनों. तो उस पे जो रिटर्न आएगा वो तो ईबीआईटी आएगा ना. रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल इंप्लॉयड इज अर्निंग बिफोर इंटरेस्ट एंड टैक्स डिवाइडेड बाय कैपिटल इंप्लॉयड. दैट्स नॉर्मल फॉर्मूला. अब इन्होंने यहां पर भी लिखा अर्निंग बिफोर टैक्स, बिफोर इंटरेस्ट है कि नहीं मेरे को पता नहीं चल रहा है. फिर यहां पर भी लिखा कि प्री टैक्स रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल इंप्लॉयड. तो कैपिटल इंप्लॉयड तो डेट और इक्विटी दोनों होता है. तो प्री टैक्स के साथ साथ प्री इंटरेस्ट भी होएगा, फिर वो ईबीआईटी होएगा. तो मैं वही शुरू से कंफ्यूजन में चल रहा हूं. मेरे को कंफ्यूजन हो रहा था कि ये 20% ईबीआईटी है या दिस 20% इज ईबीपी. लिख रहे तो ये लोग इंडस्ट्री प्री टैक्स रिटर्न. इंडस्ट्री प्री टैक्स रिटर्न मींस व्हाई दे आर नॉट राइटिंग इंडस्ट्री प्री टैक्स एंड इंटरेस्ट? व्हाई दे आर नॉट राइटिंग ईयर अर्निंग बिफोर इंटरेस्ट एंड टैक्स? वो लोग तो नहीं लिख रहे हैं. तो मेरे को आपका अभी जो लॉजिक है वो ठीक लगा कि हम लोग शेयर कैपिटल रिजर्व्स का एवरेज निकाल लेते हैं. इंटू 20% विल बी कॉल्ड एवरेज ईबीटी, और हम लोग का एक्चुअल ईबीटी लास्ट 3 साल का जो है उसमें से लेस कर देंगे, बैलेंस आ जाएगा, 20% टैक्स लेस करके कर लेंगे। बट उन्होंने क्या नॉन करंट लायबिलिटी जोड़ा है अगर, तो फिर इन दैट केस क्वेश्चन को ठीक से देना चाहिए था। बिकॉज नॉर्मली मेरे को भी मालूम है कि रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड इज अर्निंग बिफोर इंटरेस्ट एंड टैक्स ऑलवेज, सो डेट विल बी टेकन। कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड मींस डेट एंड इक्विटी बोथ। अगर आप रिटर्न ऑन इक्विटी बोलेंगे तो ओनली इक्विटी, बट रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड इज डेट एंड इक्विटी बोथ। तो करंट लायबिलिटी कोई ऐड नहीं करेगा, बट लेकिन शेयर कैपिटल, रिजर्व्स और नॉन करंट लायबिलिटी सभी ऐड करेगा अगर वो रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड है। बट फिर सब जगह कंफ्यूज क्यों की कि प्री टैक्स रिटर्न, प्री टैक्स रिटर्न बोलने की जरूरत क्या थी? सीधा ऐसे ही बोल सकता कि रिटर्न ऑन कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड इज 20%। ठीक है भाई, हम समझ जाते, और यहां पर भी मैं एज्यूम कर लेता ये बिफोर इंटरेस्ट बिफोर टैक्स है, मान लेते। दे हैव गिवन इंटरेस्ट रेट ऑन डेट, नहीं दिया है। इंटरेस्ट रेट ऑन डेट कहां है? तो अगर वो लोग ईबीआईटी मानेंगे तो इंटरेस्ट लेस कैसे करेंगे? इफ दे विल कंसीडर दैट इट इज अर्निंग बिफोर इंटरेस्ट एंड टैक्स, और 20% भी अगर हम लोग ईबीआईटी मानेंगे, तो हाउ वी विल डिडक्ट इंटरेस्ट ऑन 400? लाएंगे कहां से? नो इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट डेट, डेट इज नॉन करंट लायबिलिटी, नो इंफॉर्मेशन अबाउट डेट मतलब समझ में नहीं आ रहा है मेरे को।
सर डेट अलग होता है, लायबिलिटी अलग होती है ना। डेट तो अपन अलग से की लायबिलिटी वो भी आ सकती है ना लायबिलिटी।
बस समझ रहा नहीं हूं आप क्या बोल रहे हैं।
ओके, नहीं आप मेरा कहने का कि डेट में नॉन करंट लायबिलिटी और में और भी वो लायबिलिटी और भी आती है ना।
कौन सा? थोड़ा क्या और आता है? क्या आता है? और कुछ नहीं आता है यार, एसबीआर का एग्जाम दे चुके अपने। हाँ, नहीं नहीं, लेकिन मैं नहीं समझा अभी। मैं ऐसा सोच रहा हूं कि अगर ये 20% है, देन 20% अगर निकालेंगे तो ईबीआईटी आएगा, तो ईबीआईटी में से इंटरेस्ट कैसे लेस करेंगे? इसका मतलब ये लोग कुछ ज्यादा ही, माने जैसे बोल रहे वैसा किए। मतलब डेट को लेकर हम लोगों ने निकाला, लेकिन हमें इंटरेस्ट लेस करने की जरूरत नहीं है, बिकॉज इट इज कमिंग प्री टैक्स अर्निंग्स आफ्टर इंटरेस्ट। मेरे को लगता है ऐसा किया होगा इन्होंने, नहीं तो इंटरेस्ट रेट एज्यूम करना पड़ेगा, कितना असम्पशन लेंगे। So they are taking debt as a part of capital employed, but when you multiply by 20%, you are getting the earning before tax after interest. यही assume किया इन्होंने, that is best assumption only. But इस जगह confusion नहीं करना चाहिए था मेरे को लगता है क्वेश्चन में। ठीक है, लेकिन आप बोल रहे थे कि डेट अलग अलग है, डेट एक ही है, 400 400 400, 300 इक्विटी एक ही है, केवल 183 166 प्लस 159 we add by 3 plus 700 will give us capital employed. How much it will come? 183 plus 166 plus 159 divided by 3 plus 700. How much it will come? यानी कि 869.33। ठीक है, 869.33 इंटू 20%, ये हो गया एवरेज कैपिटल एम्प्लॉयड। हम लोग यहां पर अगर ज्यादा जोश में हैं तो शेयर कैपिटल प्लस रिजर्व्स प्लस नॉन करंट लायबिलिटी, इतना बता देंगे ठीक है, लेकिन बताने की जरूरत नहीं है, ऐसा एग्जामिनर कोई मार्क्स नहीं काटने वाला है। सो एवरेज अर्निंग्स बिफोर टैक्स, एवरेज अर्निंग्स बिफोर टैक्स 869.33 into 20%, how much? That is average will be coming, which we are saying in industry, इंडस्ट्री के बेसिस पे क्या है? 174. एवरेज एक्चुअल अर्निंग्स, हम लोगों का अर्निंग्स क्या है? एवरेज एक्चुअल अर्निंग्स है हम लोगों का 397, 370, 352 डिवाइडेड बाई 3. 397, 370, 352 डिवाइडेड बाई 3. 397, 370, 352 डिवाइडेड बाई 3. 373. ठीक है, इक्वल्स टू 373. सो एक्स्ट्रा प्रॉफिट बिफोर टैक्स 373 माइनस 174. 373 माइनस 174, 199. इन लोगों ने तो यही बोला था सेकेंड नंबर के अंदर, the premium payable on acquisition should be based on the present value of infinity of the after tax extra earnings the company has generated in the past 3 years over the average return on capital employed in the biotech industry. They are saying this only. तो हम लोग को वही करना है. So premium required by S, वो लोग यही मांग रहे हैं 199 divided by 7%, because present value of perpetuity infinity 199 by 7%. How much? 8%. Oh sorry, yes, sorry, this is pre-tax है तो post tax बनाना पड़ेगा into 80%. sorry, you are correct. and then divided by 7%. sorry, मैंने टैक्स ध्यान नहीं दिया था, सॉरी. तो हाउ मच? 2274 मिलियन. ठीक है, ये थोड़ा सा क्वेश्चन अटपटा हो गया कि अपने को इंटरेस्ट रेट नहीं दिया है फिर भी अपने डेट को ले रहे हैं, 20% निकाल रहे हैं और बोल रहे हैं ईबीआईटी नहीं है ईबीटी है. क्वेश्चन में लिखा है, बट देन इट इज क्रिएटिंग कंफ्यूजन इन द ब्रेन, because normally person will say return on capital employed, it is always EBIT, but they want to say that you are taking that as a part of capital employed, but you are not getting EBIT, you are getting EBT. और सभी जगह EBT लिख कर भी दिया है, इंटरेस्ट रेट दिया नहीं है, तो कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है. ठीक है, नाउ प्रीमियम मैक्सिमम which can be paid by H. तो वो लोग क्या बोल रहे हैं कि जो वैल्यू इंक्रीज होगा शेयर वैल्यू के बेसिस पे वो करेंगे. ठीक है, तो प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ H 600 डिवाइडेड बाई 0.25 इंटू शेयर प्राइस 9.25 है शायद 9.24. ठीक है, that is their present value. What is the value? Number of shares भी यही है ना, मेरे को तो यही ध्यान है, 600 by 0.25, correct? So what is the value? 22,176. Yeah, 600 by 0.25 अपने आप आ जाएगा into 9.24. 22,176 million. Present value of S, उसके लिए earnings into PE रेशियो. तो उनका अर्निंग्स है जो हम लोग ऊपर निकाले हैं, विच इज 199 इंटू, नहीं 199 नहीं, सॉरी, अर्निंग्स है एवरेज एक्चुअल अर्निंग्स 373 into 80% into 16.4 into 1.1. Because the P ratio of biotech industry is 16.4, but they are saying our P ratio is 10% more. And then our earnings is 373 into 80% because profit before tax is 373 and 80% 20% tax minus karke. So this is the value of S company. How much? Number of shares निकालने की जरूरत नहीं. On the basis of P ratio into earnings. 397 you are taking current. क्यों? 397 you are taking current because they are saying current P ratio. And has been estimated that as company P ratio is 10% higher than this. ठीक है, चलेगा यार. I am taking average earnings, you are taking current earnings. But उसमें लिखा भी है कि currently अभी हम लोगों का P ratio 10 times 10% ज्यादा है. यही सही है. If I will do average earnings, marks कटेगा. Because they have said that currently their P ratio is 10% higher. So currently जो भी उनका earnings है उसी से निकालना होगा. Yes. It is 397. Okay. So what is the value? 5716.8. अब value of combined company after merger. तो हमारा अर्निंग्स कितना है? 1980, 397. 1980 plus 397 whole thing into 80% into 14.5. There, sorry, plus इधर में एक और बढ़ेगा. Plus they said 180 ना, or 140. How much? The synergistic benefit they said 140, which is after tax only. 140. If I will put this in the bracket और इसको 80% कर दिए, then this is 140 and this whole thing will be into 14.5. Our earnings, their earnings, which is before tax, so after tax it is 80%, but after merger the 140 will increase, so plus 140, and then they are saying that after merger the P ratio will be 14.5. 29603. 29603. So maximum premium सारा अगर उनको दे दे भाई, 29603 minus 22176 minus 5716.8. Whatever the synergistic benefit if we give them. How much it is coming? 1710. So we are going to give them 1710. They are asking 2274. The question is, based on the above two options expressed by H and S, calculate the maximum acquisition premium payable in each case. We have calculated. ये part खत्म हो गया. कि the seller is interested in giving 1710, but the buyer is interested in getting 2274. Calculate the percentage premium per share. Calculate the percentage premium per share that S company shareholder will receive. Calculate the percentage premium per share that S company shareholder will receive under each acquisition payment method, and justify with expectations which payment method would be most acceptable to them? So first is calculate the percentage premium per share that S company shareholder will receive under each acquisition payment method. मतलब 6 आंसर निकालना है क्या? Because no, under 3 options 3 ही है. Because one is pure cash, one is this that, उनको यूज करना है. इससे कोई मतलब नहीं है. प्रीवियस बी नंबर से कोई मतलब नहीं. ठीक है. तो फोर्थ वन को अगर यहां कॉपी पेस्ट कर दिया जाए विल बी इजियर, बिकॉज नहीं तो बार बार खोलना पड़ेगा. एंड पुट दिस ऑफ, इट इज बेटर. ये पार्ट थोड़ा कंफ्यूजिंग था मेरे को. सी पार्ट ये इजी है, कोई बात नहीं, अपने कर रहे हैं. सेकंड एंड थर्ड, सब जगह यू नीड टू सेव टाइम. वापिस से लिखने फिकने नहीं करना है, बिकॉज अदरवाइज हाउ मच यू विल राइट. 3 ऑप्शंस, परसेंटेज प्रीमियम पर शेयर that S company shareholder will receive under each acquisition payment method. तो first method ये है, a cash offer of 5.72 for each S company share. So presently what is S company share value? Present value of S company share. हम लोगों ने ऊपर टोटल वैल्यू निकाला है. S company value we have calculated 5716.8. 5716.8 divided by 1200. How 1200? 300 divided by 0.25, because their share price is also 0.25. So what is the per share price? 4.76. This is per share price. ये हम लोग सबसे ऊपर लिख दो तो बेटर रहेगा, बिकॉज ये बार बार यूज होएगा. दिस आई हैव रिटन फर्स्ट. देन आई एम कैलकुलेटिंग कि भाई परसेंटेज प्रीमियम क्या है. सो परसेंटेज प्रीमियम पर शेयर which is 5.72 minus 4.76 by 4.76 into 100. We are going to get cash 5.72 in place of our existing price 4.76. So how much we are going to get extra? 20.2%. 20.2%. The second one, a cash offer of 1.33 for each standard company share plus 1 H company share for every 2 S company share. A cash offer of 1.33 per share. So 1.33 मिल गया. Plus 1 H company share for every 2 shares held. तो हम लोग तो यही बोलेंगे भाई, for 2 shares 1.33 for each S company share plus 1 share for every 2 shares. So we can say value of two shares, value of I will say consideration per share. Consideration per share. So for 2 share we are getting how much? 1 share. 1 share each, their share. What is the total value we have calculated above? After merger 29603. 29603. 29603. This is for how many shares? Ours each 2400, and we will be giving them 600 shares. We have already the number of shares 2400, and we are going to give them against 2 share 1 share. So you can say that 600 shares. So for 3000 share, this is the value. This is per share value we are going to get. For this per share they will be get for 2 shares. ये उन लोगों को 2 शेयर के बदले मिलेगा. So against 1 share they are getting this, and plus 1.33 cash. 29603 will be the combined value after merger. The total number of shares will be 3000. So per share value 9.87, but they are getting 9.87 1 share against 2 existing share. So for every 1 share they are going to get 9.87 by 2 plus 1.33 cash. Which is, you can say, 4.93 plus 1.33. We have calculated total value 29603. Merged company value. The total number of shares of merged company, our shares 2400, their shares 1200, but we are going to give them 1 share for every 2 shares. So against 1200 we are going to give them 600. This is the per share value of the combined company. Now we are going to give them this 1 share against their 2 share. What is the story they are saying? 1 share of H for every 2 shares. So for every 2 shares, if you are the shareholder of S company, for every 2 shares आपको ये इतना पैसा मिलेगा. Per share 9.87, you are going to get against 2 shares. So for 1 share, how much you are getting? 9.87 by 2. And against 1 share, you are getting cash also 1.33. In simple words, 2 shares के बदले for 2 shares. और थोड़ा डिटेल में लिख देता हूं. एग्जाम में इतना लिखने से चलेगा, वट एवर आई हैव रिटन. 9.87 cash 2 into 1.33, which is 2.66. So total for 2 shares 9.87 plus 2.66, 9.87 plus 2.66, which is 12.52, 12.53. So consideration per share 12.53 by 2, because एक शेयर के बदले हमें क्या मिला? 6.26, and the value of 1 share is existing is how much? 4.76. So percentage premium, which is 6.26 minus 4.76 divided by 4.76 into 100, 31.5%. Percentage wise, second one is better. But in the second one, there is an estimation relating to the price. There is an estimation relating to earnings. There is an estimation relating to synergy. When those things will materialize, then only this 31.5% will materialize. And in this case, since we are the shareholder of the combined company, then we will be getting the benefit out of the fortune of the combined company. So percentage return definitely has to be higher, because it is a cash plus non-cash deal. In non-cash deal, the percentage has to be higher. A cash offer of 1.25 for each standard company share plus $103% convertible bond for every 5 nominal value for every $5 nominal value of share. ठीक है. $5 nominal value means how many shares? One bond for how many shares? 5 divided by 0.25. How many shares? 20 shares. Against 20 shares, we are getting a bond of $100. Against 20 shares, we are getting a bond of $100. So, per share consideration received 100 for 20 shares plus 1.25 cash. One bond we are getting of $100 for 20 shares. So 100 divided by 25 is in terms of bond. And 1.25 cash. 6.25. So percentage premium 6.25 minus 4.76 divided by 4.76, the whole thing into 100. How much this is coming? 31.3. This has to be lower than the previous one. Why? Because bond is more secured. If you are the bond holder, then in that case, the company has to pay you the interest and principal if you don't go for conversion. And at the same time, you are getting the opportunity to convert the bond later. So for that reason, slightly lower than the second one. Option 3 is best. That they are asking, I will say, as the justify with explanation which payment method would be most. I cannot say that which one is best and all. We need to say that in the first case, entire is cash deal. The certainty of return is there. But in the second and third case, it's a cash plus non-cash deal. In the second case, we are going to become the shareholder of the combined company. So when the company will be able to perform better, we will be able to get the benefit. But what is the surety relating to synergistic benefit is a question mark. In the third case, we are going to become the bond holder. So in the bond holder, even though if the company does not perform well, we will be able to get the interest and the principal payment back. And we have the option to convert it into share. So obviously looking at third is best. Because the third percentage is also not very less. 31.5 to 31.3. So considering that, we going for becoming the shareholder also. If not, the share deal is better, then get your money back as a bond holder, getting a good return. That is better. Yes, वही better है. लेकिन बहुत ज्यादा यहाँ नहीं लिखना है. The entire
सर मैंने कहीं सुना था कि मान लीजिए कि कैलकुलेशन में मिस्टेक्स हो गई. हाँ. और उस मिस्टेक्स के बाद भी हमने कंक्लूजन मतलब वो भले गलत आंसर हो लेकिन वो
कंक्लूजन का लॉजिक है, नंबर मिलेगा. यस. हाँ, सुनना नहीं है, सही है. मान लीजिए कैलकुलेशन में कुछ भी, मान लीजिए जैसे मैं टैक्स नहीं दे रहा था 20%, तो मेरा तो सब जगह गलत होता ना. ये लास्ट तक गलत चलता, सेकंड वाला में भी. लेकिन उसके अलावा तो मेरा सारा कॉन्सेप्ट सही है ना. टैक्स मैंने ध्यान नहीं दिया, नंबर कटेगा, जीरो नहीं मिलेगा. जीरो नहीं मिलेगा. We will be getting marks whatever portion we are doing correct. बिकॉज नहीं तो सब फेल हो जाएंगे यार, कोई पास ही नहीं होएगा फिर.
सर इसका ये बस ये थर्ड पार्टी में थोड़ा कंफ्यूजन था. बाकी सब तो बाकी पेपर तो सेकंड एपी वाला क्वेश्चन इजी था. और जो फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन उसमें थोड़ा सा जो रिपोर्ट वाला पोर्शन है ना सर, हाँ, उसको कैसे हैंडल करना वो थोड़ा समझ में था. बाकी हेजिंग वाला समझ में आ गया. उसमें जो हेजिंग है ना, इंटरेस्ट हेजिंग, हाँ, रिपोर्ट को कैसे प्रेजेंट करना, रिपोर्ट का थोड़ा सा मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा था कि रिपोर्ट कैसे लिखूं. या फिर तो ये 22 नंबर का मार्क है रिपोर्ट ओनली 50 में से.
कितना नंबर?
22 नंबर का जो 50 वाला क्वेश्चन था सर,
हाँ,
22 नंबर का रिपोर्ट
22 मार्क्स रिपोर्टिंग है। ठीक है, अच्छा, ठीक है, ठीक है। तो हम लोग फर्स्ट में जाएं अब। ठीक है, लेकिन एक बार पढ़ना पड़ेगा सर, मेरा पढ़ा हुआ नहीं है, सॉरी। हाँ, ठीक है, नहीं नहीं, ठीक है, नो इश्यू। एक सेकंड, रिक्वायरमेंट 15, 6, 7, 9, 9, 22 नंबर रिपोर्टिंग है। वो माने अलग अलग पार्ट्स है रिपोर्टिंग का। प्रिपेयर मेमोरेंडम ऑफ द बोर्ड ऑफ डायरेक्टर्स टू विच discuss proposals one in light of the concerns raised by non-executive directors, discuss the agency issue related to proposal 2 and how these can be mitigated. प्रोफेशनल मार्क्स के लिए कुछ लिखना नहीं है। ये प्रोफेशनल मार्क्स खाली ये लास्ट वाला के लिए भी नहीं है, शुरू वाला के लिए भी है। 4 मार्क्स हर प्रोफेशनल लेवल का पेपर में SBL, SBR, AFM, EPM, ऑडिटिंग, एडवांस ऑडिटिंग, एडवांस टैक्सेशन, सभी जगह प्रोफेशनल मार्क्स अलग से रहता है। प्रोफेशनल मार्क्स मतलब आपका राइटअप प्रोफेशनली होना चाहिए, जो क्वेश्चंस पूछा गया उसका आंसर देंगे, लॉजिक होना चाहिए। नहीं, पार्ट डी के लिए 9, 9, 18 बस। उसके बाद ये अलग है, ये सारा के लिए पूरा 50 नंबर का क्वेश्चन में 5, 4 प्रोफेशनल मार्क्स। I will say easiest in the sense if you are logical in your explanation, which they say that ki if you are writing the answer as per requirement and you are not using slang language, you are using professional language, and if suppose it is a memorandum, then in memorandum kya you will make an heading memorandum from to the board of directors, date this, subject you will mention, and you mane prepare a document like it's a professional document, then automatically you will get professional marks that way. ये कॉमन के लिए। नॉर्मली जितना भी आप SBL का एग्जाम देंगे उसमें हर क्वेश्चन में प्रोफेशनल मार्क्स होता है। SBR, AFM और APM ये सब में कहीं कहीं पर प्रोफेशनल मार्क्स दे मेंशन। यस, वी आर डूइंग दैट इन डे टू डे वर्क ओनली, ऑब्वियसली 100%। अच्छा, एक सेकंड, खाली एक बार पूरा का फीलिंग ले लेते हैं क्वेश्चन में है क्या। बिकॉज हियर दे आर सेइंग वन ऑफ द नॉन एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर, जो कंसर्न वन ऑफ द नॉन एग्जीक्यूटिव डायरेक्टर का उसको बताना है, एंड एजेंसी इश्यूज रिलेटेड टू प्रपोजल 2. So there are 2 proposals most probably. Discuss proposal 1 in the light of concern raised by non-executive directors and discuss the agency issues related to proposal 2 and how these can be mitigated. ठीक है, एक बार पढ़ ले रहा हूं मैं ऊपर से। Advise CMC company on an appropriate hedging strategy to manage the foreign exchange exposure of the US dollar payment in 4 months time. Advise CMC company on an appropriate hedging strategy to manage the foreign exchange exposure of US dollar payment in 4 months time. Payment hedging. So all relevant calculation including the number of contracts brought or sold in the exchange traded derivative markets. मतलब गड़बड़ नहीं होना चाहिए क्वेश्चन, बिकॉज नॉर्मल सब चीज होना चाहिए, अनलेस एंड अनटिल कुछ उटपटांग दिया हो। Demonstrate how CMC company could benefit from the swap offered by P Bank, which is interest rate में चला गया swap, गड़बड़ तो नहीं होना चाहिए भी। Calculate them, you can say A and B थोड़ा calculation type हो गया maximum. Calculate the modified duration of the loan, this is also calculation. If it is repaid in equal installments, and explain how duration can be used to measure the sensitivity of the loan to changes in the interest rates. अगर modified duration माने नॉर्मल ड्यूरेशन को मॉडिफाइड ड्यूरेशन बना देंगे तो इन दैट केस वो इंटरेस्ट रेट चेंज होने से कितना वैल्यू चेंज होगा वो पता चल जाता है। ड्यूरेशन निकालने के लिए क्या करना है, प्रेजेंट वैल्यू ऑफ कैश फ्लोज को 1 ईयर, 2 ईयर, 3 ईयर, 4 ईयर से मल्टीप्लाई करके वेटेड एवरेज निकालना है टोटल, और फिर डिवाइडेड बाय टोटल प्रेजेंट वैल्यू, सो विच इज कॉल्ड द ड्यूरेशन, एंड ड्यूरेशन डिवाइडेड बाय 1 प्लस आई इज कॉल्ड मॉडिफाइड ड्यूरेशन. Modified duration is say 2.3 suppose. So if there is a 1 point change in interest rate, the value of the bond or the loan will change by 2.3%. If there is a 1 point change, suppose 1 basis point interest change hota hai, then what is the change in the value of the bond or the value of the loan? So वो explain करना है, calculate the modified duration निकालना है, if it is repaid in equal installments, and explain how duration can be used to measure the sensitivity of the loan to changes in the interest rates. So we always say that interest rate up, security value, bond value go down, interest rate down, value goes up. But when we calculate based on modified or duration ke basis pe, that is not exact variation. Because when we are calculating, we are saying that it is a linear relationship. Whereas in the market, if the interest rate is increasing or decreasing by 1%, 2%, 0.1%, the change in the value of the bond will not be exactly in the same proportion. So we can say that the convexity theory is there, but generally when we in practical life want to analyze that what will be the effect on the bond price or value of the loan because of change in interest rate, we forget the concept of convexity and we linearly modify duration se correlate karte hain. And the 7 marks is greater than 6 marks. So in point number C, modified duration calculate करने में I don't think so time ज़्यादा लगेगा, अच्छे से लिखना पड़ेगा point number C में भी. And then the last one, prepare a memorandum for the board of directors, discuss proposal 1 in the light of concern raised by non-executive, discuss agency issues related to proposal 2. दो proposal होंगे उससे related वो लोग बोल रहे हैं, ठीक है. मैं इनको कॉपी पेस्ट नहीं कर रहा हूं, बट एग्जाम में अपने को रिक्वायरमेंट में जाकर कॉपी पेस्ट करके पहले से ही वर्ड फाइल में लिख देना चाहिए, रिक्वायरमेंट बंद, जमेला फिनिश, बिकॉज देन वी कैन सेव आवर टाइम. और अगर लगे कि कैलकुलेशन खाली थोड़ा बहुत प्लस माइनस इंटू पिंटू है, वर्ड फाइल में लिखिए. बट इफ देयर आर 6-7 कॉलम्स यू नीड टू मेक, सो मेनी डेटास आर देयर, प्रेजेंट वैल्यू निकाल, देन इन दैट केस गो इनटू एक्सेल सीट. अदरवाइज एक्सेल सीट में हर 2 लाइन के लिए जाने की जरूरत नहीं. एंड whenever you are using calculation in Excel sheet, आपको word file में properly लिखना होगा कि the calculations are shown in the Excel sheet exhibit 1, 2 ऐसा बताना होगा. Otherwise maybe you have done 4-5 calculations in Excel sheet. How the examiner will माने correlate your spreadsheet that आपको किससे correlate करना है. So your working should be properly numbered. That if you are doing a working in Excel sheet for say point number C, आप उस वर्किंग का एक्सेल सीट में, स्प्रेड सीट में, यू विल नेम वर्किंग नोट 1 से. देन इन द आंसर इन पॉइंट नंबर सी यू नीड टू राइट दैट इन द स्प्रेड सीट रेफर वर्किंग नोट 1. नहीं तो एग्जामिनर, इफ आई एम द एग्जामिनर, आई विल कंफ्यूज माई सेल्फ what you are saying, where you have done the calculation, and if I am puzzled, I will make you puzzle. I will not give you marks. आपको मेरे को इजी रखना है, ओके. नॉर्मल है यार कि मेरे को आपका अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है तो मैं नंबर दूंगा नहीं. अब आप सोचेंगे कि यू आर वेरी गुड, बट यू आर नॉट गुड इन एक्सप्लेनिंग टू मी ना. कंफर्ट देना पड़ेगा. यस. CMC, they have already mentioned CMC. हम लोग भी सब जगह CMC ही लिखेंगे. Is a large listed company, again listed, based in Switzerland and uses Swiss franc as its currency. It imports tea, coffee, cocoa from countries around the world. इंडिया से भी करता होगा, ये सब इंडिया में बनता है. And sells its blended products to supermarkets and large retailers worldwide. Multinational company. Blended. Tea, coffee, cocoa को मिला मिलू के. The company has production facilities located in 2 European parts. The company has production facilities located in 2 European ports, where raw materials are bought for processing and from where finished products are shipped out. So we have made our factories near to ports only. The company has production facilities located in 2 European ports, where raw materials are bought from processing and from where the finished products are shipped out. Very good. All raw material purchases are paid in the US dollar, while all sales are invoiced in Swiss franc CHF. मतलब we are multinational company. We are from Swiss country. So our sales are in CHF. In any country, India में भी अगर सेल कर रहे हैं तो CHF पे इनवॉइस बन रहा है. So there is no foreign exchange risk relating to sale because that is in domestic currency. But relating to imports, there is a foreign exchange risk because foreign currency dollar. Until recently, CMC company had no intention of hedging its foreign currency exposures. Until recently, CMC company had no intention of hedging its foreign currency exposures. ठीक है, अभी तक कोई hedging नहीं करते थे. क्यों नहीं करते थे? अच्छा था क्या? Maybe natural hedging हो जाता था. Since we are dealing in so many countries, तो अपने आप ही हो जाता था. लेकिन natural hedging होने का chances are less because our exports are only in CHF. Only from two countries when we are importing, because they said na it imports tea, coffee and all that from countries around the world. Sorry, they are importing from around the world. The company has production facilities in two European ports. So two European port production facility. So they are importing from different countries, but then they are paying in dollar only. No intention of hedging. Presently, we are not doing hedging. Interest rate exposures or commodity price fluctuations. Neither interest rate, neither foreign exchange, neither commodity price. We are not doing any hedging. And he stated this intent is in its annual report. Or हमने board of directors report, annual report, maybe we have said this many times. However, after consultation with senior and middle managers, the company's new board of directors has been reviewing its risk management and operations strategies. However, after consultations with senior and middle managers, the company's new board of directors has been reviewing its risk management and operations strategies. Okay. Matlab maybe there are new members in the board. They are analyzing critically that whatever we are doing earlier, no doing hedging and all that, is this logical? And those new directors have already discussed with the senior and middle level managers. You are a finance consultant hired by CMC company to work on two proposals which have been put forward by the board of director for further consideration. तो पूरा क्वेश्चन में दो प्रपोजल है भाई. ठीक है. Proposal 1 involves setting up a treasury function to manage the foreign currency and interest rate exposures, but not commodity price fluctuations. So अभी commodity price में hedging में नहीं जाएंगे, only foreign exchange interest rate. Using derivative products, future, option, swap, whatever. The treasury function would be headed by the finance director, the purchasing director who initiated the idea of having a treasury function. मतलब purchasing director ने बोला था, was of the opinion that this would enable her management team to make better decisions. मतलब purchasing director is saying that when the hedging will be there, they will be able to do purchasing better. The finance director also supported the idea. उसको भी अच्छा लगा. As he felt this would increase his influence on the board of directors and strengthen his case for an increase in his remuneration. Then to he is bad person. He is thinking about his benefit. For that reason, he is saying purchase manager is good. Because he is thinking that the board members will be more dependent on the finance team, treasury functions and all that. Which is, you can say that goal congruency is violated. Or I can say that automation strategy, autocrative style. Autocrative style is not good. Okay, not an issue. In order to assist in the further consideration of this proposal, the board of directors want you to use the following upcoming foreign currency in order to assist in the forthcoming consideration of this proposal. The board of directors wants you to use the following upcoming foreign currency and interest rate exposures to demonstrate how they would be managed by the treasury function. A payment of 5.606 million, which is due in 4 months. A 4 year 60 CHF loan interest out to part fund the setting up of 4 branches. In order to assist in further, the BOD wants you to following upcoming foreign currency and interest rate exposure to demonstrate how they would be managed. One is payment of foreign currency in 4 months, and one is CHF 60 million loan taken out to part fund the setting up of 4 branches. Proposal 2 below. What is that second project? Interest will be payable on the loan at a fixed rate 2.2% or a floating annual rate based on the yield rate curve plus 0.4%. The loan principal amount will be repayable in full at the end of the 4th year. This, I mean to say, they have given the 4 questions. The first question relating to hedging, the second question relating to swap, the third question or maybe something relating to, because feeling वही आ रहा है. The third question is relating to this 60 million only, calculation of durations and all that, and then in the 4th question theory. Okay, ठीक है. ये hedging के लिए they have given detail. The current spot rate is 1.0635 per CHF. So if CHF converted into dollar into, if dollar converted into CHF divide, from here only we should make up our mind, because the rate is given for one CHF, base currency CHF. So if the CHF converted into dollar converted into CHF divide, the current annual inflation rate in USA is 3 times higher than the Switzerland. Now USA interest rate is greater than our CHF interest rate, and we always say that the currency where the interest rate is lower or inflation is lower, then that currency will appreciate. So CHF value will appreciate against dollar will depreciate. तो हम लोग को तो डॉलर बाद में पे करना है और डॉलर डेप्रिसिएट होगा, अच्छा ही है. Why we should be doing hedging? When the current annual inflation rate in USA is 3 times than the Switzerland, so अगर inflation in US dollar is more, then the US currency will depreciate and we need to pay for our imports payment in dollar only. तो डॉलर का भाव तो बाद में गिरेगा. Not doing hedging will be better. The following derivative products are available to CNC company to manage the exposures of US dollar payment and the interest on the loan. Exchange traded currency futures. Contract size 1,25,000 CHF. That means the dollar payable need to be converted into CHF. Then you divide by 1,25,000. Then you will get number of contracts. The 3 months and the 6 months. But we are concerned with 6 months only. Because हम लोग को payment करना है 4 months के बाद. So 3 months के बाद we will not, that is given as a googly. We are concerned with 6 months expiry date only. Exchange traded options. Contract size CHF 1,25,000. Exercise price quotations, premium, cents. Normally जो होता है, do they have given different options? Call option, put option. Now we need to select which. Whether we need to go for call option or put option. Why put? We need to pay dollar. The base currency of option is CHF. So जो चीज का माने if we want to buy dollar, and if the dollar option or futures are there, dollar futures buy and all that, माने since it is a CHF ulta, we need to pay dollar. That means indirectly we will sell CHF. So we need to buy put option on CHF. You are correct. Good. So we need to buy put option on CHF. But 6 months maturity, not the 3 months. Because our transaction will materialize after 4 months. So we are concerned with 2.16 and 2.63. But which rate we will be using? They have given 2 exercise price. Simple ekdam. The price is 1.41 minus 0.00. Sorry. The price is 1.06 minus 0.0026216 and 1.07 minus 0.00263. Sell means after premium less karke where you are getting better price. You always want to sell at a higher price. You always want to buy something at a lower price. So in selling, you will deduct the premium and then balance wherever it is coming more. So 1.06 minus 0.00216 and 1.07 minus 0.00, if divided by 100, it will be 0.0263. Highest one. Yes, highest outcome. मान लीजिए in exam you are not getting time, you just do the calculation में calculator में, and whichever is getting you can start writing. आपको दिखाने का जरूरत नहीं इतना. The examiner need to understand automatically. इतना उसको आता होएगा. It can be assumed that the futures and option contract expires at the end of the month and transaction costs related to these can be ignored. मतलब for entering into futures and options, there is any transaction cost, brokerage, futures पे margin होता है, mark to all these ignore. ठीक है भाई, ignore कर देंगे. There is money which you are paying as a margin money or maybe as a option premium, the interest cost you are losing. They are saying forget that. Okay, forget that. Over the counter products. In addition to the exchange traded products, P Bank is willing to offer the following over the counter derivative products to CNC company. A forward rate between US dollar and CHF. That means maybe they have given hedging for forward contract also. An interest rate swap contract with a counterparty where the counterparty can borrow at an annual floating rate based on that is swap. Floating rate plus 0.8% or annual fixed rate 3.8. P Bank would charge a fee of 20 basis point each to act on the intermediary 0.4%. वहां चला जाएगा. Both parties will benefit equally from swap. Simple swap arrange करना है. Our rate they have mentioned in the previous slide. The counterparty rate they have mentioned. So we will arrange a swap, but the benefit will be 0.2 less. Because intermediary P Bank will be charging 0.2 from each party. Alternative loan repayment as an alternative to paying the principal on the loan as one lump sum at the end of 4th year. Company can pay off the loan in equal installment amounts over the 4 years similar to one annuity. In this case, the annual interest rate 2% would be payable. Which is the same as the loan gross redemption yield to maturity, which is the same gross. Or if we pay after 4 years, then also 2% interest rate. If we pay one by one every year, then also 2% interest rate. Why this is given? I think for calculating the duration or something. This proposal suggested setting up for new branches in 4 different countries. Each branch would have its own production facilities and sales teams. As a consequence of this, one of the 2 European-based production facilities will be closed. Initial cost-benefit analysis indicated that this would reduce cost related to production, distribution and logistics as these branches would be closer to the sources of material and also to the customers. The operations and sales director supported the proposal as in addition to the above, this would enable sales and marketing teams in the branches to respond to any changes in local market. The branches would be controlled and staffed by the local population in these countries. However, some members of the BOD expressed a concern that such a move would create agency issues between CNC companies' central management and the management controlling the branches. They suggested mitigation strategies would need to be established to minimize these issues. Okay, ये story है. Then the last one. When the proposal were put to the non-executive directors, they indicated that they were broadly supportive. When the proposals were put to NEDs, they indicated that they were broadly supportive of the second proposal if the financial benefits outweigh the cost of setting up and running the 4 branches. However, they felt that they could not support the first proposal as they would reduce shareholder value because the cost related to undertaking the proposal are likely to outweigh the benefits. तो आपको ये आंसर देना है कि in the first proposal we were never involved into hedging, but we are thinking of changing our strategy going forward. Foreign exchange hedging, interest rate hedging, ये सब में जाना चाहते हैं, but non-executive director are not in favor of that. But relating to the second proposal, opening branches 4 and then closing the 2 European locations, उससे हम लोग nearer to we will be getting benefit that they are supporting. तो आपका exact question क्या था? Discuss the proposal 1 in the light of concern raised by the non-executive directors. According to me, proposal 1, which is changing the strategy from non-hedging to hedging. The first thing is that we have hedging problems in respect of foreign currency in dollar payable. And as per the forecast, it is said that a dollar interest rate, inflation rate, is 3 times more than the CHF interest rate. And generally, if we go with the purchasing power parity theory, PPT, then in that case, where the inflation is more, the country's currency depreciate. So the dollar inflation is 3 times. So as compared to CHF, dollar value will go down, and we are going to repay dollar. We are going to pay dollar after 4 months and future also. So when the dollar value will go down, why to concern? Why to think about hedging? But then how much we are sure? Presently, maybe the rate is three times. Maybe not. We need to go in the past also, that how many times or how much time it happened that the dollar inflation rate is greater than CHF, and then whether only inflation is the factor which affect the foreign exchange rate. There are other factors also which affect the foreign exchange rate. Thousands of factors. So what will be the effect of those factors on the foreign exchange rate? When we go for hedging, what is the main benefit? We will be sure relating to our outflow, cash flow. We will be 100%, not 100%. In case of forward contract, 100%. In case of futures and options, 99, 95% we will be sure what will be our outflow. So the management can focus on business growth, innovation, development, sales, marketing, and in place of employing their time in cash flows and all that, in foreign exchange exposures and all that. But then it will increase the cost, because there will be a treasury department open, and the treasury department, there will be extra cost of that. We need to do the cost benefit analysis also. Presently, we have a strategy that we are never doing hedging. Why? Because we have mentioned in our board of directors report also, we are not going for hedging, because we are importing from so many countries, even though the payment is in dollar, but automatically the payments are settled. They are thinking. We need to go in the past, that how many times we suffered losses because of unhedging. Where the hedging would have been done, then what are the chances, what will be the loss which we could have saved? And going forward, what is the fluctuations between dollar and CHF? What we are projecting? Because on the basis of that only we can think of doing hedging. But going for hedging is a totally change in strategy. We need to communicate to the stakeholders, shareholders, that we are changing our stance. We will be going for hedging. Now, we always say that there is one problem, that if suppose I have invested in Reliance, Reliance is not taking risk. Reliance is not taking risk. Reliance is doing all the options which are possible for doing hedging. But मैंने अपना पूरा पैसा Reliance में नहीं लगाया. I have invested 5-10% in Reliance, 90% money at other places. So I am already hedged. I am a portfolio investor. When you are a portfolio investor, the company don't have to think about hedging, because the portfolio investor have already done the hedging. If the company will be doing hedging, then it will be adverse effect on the shareholder. They will sell the shares. So if the present shareholders who have invested in the company, and the market in which we are is a perfect competitive market, information is freely available, the shareholders are already diversified, then doing a hedging strategy in the company is not required. Maybe it will be giving cash flow certainty, but that is not required. So we cannot start it on the next day. We need to first of all inform to the shareholders that हम लोग change कर रहे हैं, why we are changing, and we need to give logic that it will help in the company's sustained cash flows, regular cash flows, and we will come to know in advance what are the cash flows. Maybe initially some staff in treasury department need to be appointed, but then it will be long run beneficial to the company, because of such a problem in the market relating to foreign exchange rate. As far as purchase manager, they are saying, because they are regularly purchasing. So when they are purchasing, then they know that because of the foreign exchange rate, the purchase cost many times goes up very high. They are not able to decide properly relating to price and quality and all that. For that reason, for them, they are correct. But relating to finance director who is thinking about himself, his importance in the company, it's not logical. The finance director, we are not going to do this or hedging just because the financial manager will be having more importance in the company. We are going to do this for the benefit of our company, for our shareholders, for our stakeholders. वो फर्स्ट पार्ट में लिखना है. सिंस 9 मार्क्स से थोड़ा तो 2-3 पैराग्राफ लिखना होगा यार. एक इन्फ्लेशन, इंटरेस्ट रेट माने फोरकास्टिंग के बारे में, एक यू कैन से दैट द रिस्क डाइवर्सिफाइड एंड ऑल दैट, और तीसरा जो डायरेक्टर्स लोग बोल रहे हैं वो लिखना पड़ेगा. अदरवाइज they will not be giving marks, because it's a big marks question. 9 into 1.5 say. So we say that 12-13 minutes. 12-13 minutes means 20 lines. आपको 15-20 लाइन रोमन 1 में लिखना पड़ेगा, रोमन 2 में भी 15-20 लाइन. The second one, the agency issues related to proposal 2, and the second one which is closing the 2 places, European location, and opening 4 branches. Problem होता क्या है? Suppose I am the head of one branch. Padam is the head of another branch. Sandeep is the head of another branch. Padam is the head of another branch. We are the 4 branch head, branch controller, or maybe 1 or 2 persons in the team is a branch controller. And in the head office, there are board members, directors, NED, EDs are there. Okay. NEDs are controlling. They are not doing business, but they are controlling the affairs of EDs. But जो EDs वगैरह है, what they will think? That they are thinking for the whole company's benefit. But me, Padam, Vishal and all that will be thinking about our own personal benefit. How my branch performance will be improving. I am not concerned with Padam because I am the controller of X branch. I am the owner of X branch, managing X branch. Padam का क्या होता है मेरे को कोई मतलब नहीं. Even though I am the part of the umbrella, but I am thinking about my own affairs, my own things and all that. So goal congruence is adversely affected when we go into divisional or when we go into branch structure. What we need to do for going for a branch structure? The top management need to let down guidelines, performance evaluation, which will be actually related with the performance of the whole company, not related with the individual manager, individual branch performance. And the branch performance should be correlated. The factors, KPI and all that should be correlated with the goal congruence, so that the managers are also satisfied and the top management is also satisfied, because ultimately the whole company should grow. So there should be proper performance measures need to be fixed. And I am also in the view that we should be going for the second proposal, because it will be helping us to save our cost, better nearer to the customers, giving them better service, reducing the cost in transportation, distribution. That will be in the long run beneficial to the company. But then that benefit will be realized if there will be a goal congruence approach between the head of the central office, CNC central office, and the branch managers. वो सबसे important. So that need to be written in the second part. And at the same time, since this is not a simple proposal, we need to take approval from the shareholders also, because it's a strategic decisions we are talking. So closing the 2 divisions where we were doing the operations, what will happen to the staff and management, those who were working there, taking them to the branches and all that, or new persons will be appointed, how much new persons will have knowledge and all that, that need to be checked. ये बताना होगा आपको, because decision लेने के पहले what are the issues are there that need to be discussed. अच्छा क्वेश्चन है, नॉट बैड, लेकिन लेंदी है, मीन्स रीडिंग, प्लानिंग, एवरीथिंग. तो वी हैव 90 मिनट्स. सो 90 मिनट्स भैया 50 मार्क्स है. दैट इज आई एम सेइंग कि 90 मिनट्स में इफ यू आर टेकिंग 20% टाइम, 20 मिनट्स इन एनालाइजिंग एवरीथिंग, चलेगा. 18 मिनट है, मोटा मोटी 20 मिनट तक आप पढ़िए, समझिए, जो कॉपी पेस्ट करना है क्वेश्चन को कॉपी पेस्ट कर लीजिए, अपना प्लानिंग करिए. 70 मिनट्स यू आर गोइंग टू राइट. उसमें से 4 नंबर तो भूल जाइए, दैट इज एक्स्ट्रा सरप्लस मार्क्स. फॉर 46 मिनट्स यू आर गोइंग टू राइट 70 मिनट्स, अराउंड 1.6 मिनट्स पर मार्क्स. तो आपको उसी तरह से यू नीड टू एलोकेट योर टाइम. इफ समवेयर यू आर टेकिंग 1, 2, 3 मिनट्स मोर, सपोज हियर, देन आपको यहां रोकना होगा अपने आप को. If you don't adjust yourself according to time, the paper will be lost. And starting should be very good. If the starting few overs, 5-10 overs in a 50 over match is good, then there is a huge probability that the team will win the match. तो आपको start एकदम बढ़िया से करना है, confidence के साथ, and time control पे ध्यान देना है. Something you know, don't waste your time. ये सबसे important. We carried away in the exam. That happens. So when we are doing these questions, not I'm saying in the class, when you are doing, please, it's a request, don't do this question the way we have done the एग्जाम किट और स्टडी टेक्स्ट, फिर कोई मतलब नहीं है क्वेश्चंस करने का कि हम लोग 50 मार्क्स का क्वेश्चन किए, बैलेंस नहीं किए, सबमिट कर दिए, फिर उसके बाद आंसर चेक कर रहे हैं, देन कोई फायदा नहीं होगा। ये जो पेपर है ये इसीलिए दिया हुआ है, दिस इज ओनली फॉर दैट रीजन। द क्वेश्चंस आर नॉट न्यू, द क्वेश्चंस आर देयर इन द पीडीएफ फाइल ऑल्सो, कोई ना कोई टर्म में आया होगा, बट these questions are given that the student practice 3 hours on the practice platform। तो उसको ये फील लाना है कि एग्जाम ही चल रहा है, कम से कम 2 बार, कम से कम मिनिमम 2 टाइम्स। इसको वैसे नहीं सॉल्व करना है 50 मार्क्स अभी, बाद में 25 मार्क्स चेकिंग द आंसर, देन इन दैट केस वी आर डूइंग रॉन्ग डायरेक्शन। उससे द मार्क्स इन एग्जाम विल बी डेफिनेटली अफेक्टेड एटलीस्ट 5-10% कम से कम। आप सोचिए आप एग्जाम दे रहे हैं, 3 घंटा में आपका एग्जाम है, फेल होंगे भी, गड़बड़ होगा भी, तो पता तो चले कहां है। लेट्स एनालाइज व्हाट इज लेंथ, व्हाट इज अवर लेंथ एंड ब्रेथ। फॉर दैट रीजन दिस इज प्लेटफॉर्म हैज बीन क्रिएटेड बाय एसीसीए इंस्टीट्यूट, कि आपको हर तरह का नॉलेज होए। बिकॉज लाइक यू अंडरस्टूड विशाल रो एंड कॉलम कि नहीं ऐड कर सकते, डिलीट नहीं कर सकते, तो वैसे ही इफ यू डू द इंटायर पेपर इन 3 आवर्स तभी सब फीलिंग आएगा। कंपनीज करंट रेट इज फिक्स्ड और फ्लोटिंग, मेरे ख्याल से इस चीज का जरूरत है, नहीं जरूरत है मेरे ख्याल से। इज इट रिक्वायर्ड? 1 सेकेंड। वी आर गोइंग टू बोरो फंड्स, हम लोग फंड्स बोरो करने वाले हैं। अब समझिए, a 4-year 60 loan taken out to fund part। अभी तक हम लोग ब्रांच खोले थोड़ी ना है, we are going to open branch and in that 60 million CHF will be required। Interest will be payable on the loan at the fixed annual rate, fixed they are saying, or a floating, no, not said। Interest on the loan will be fixed or floating, whatever will be best। No, first of all, suppose I mean to say that कि 2 point, वो तो लेना ही पड़ेगा, otherwise there is no question of swap। Our fixed rate borrowing is 2.2, floating rate borrowing is yield rate, whatever is the lever or any yield rate plus 0.4%। And for our counterparty, what is the story? The counter, बोलिए। नहीं, करंट बोरोइंग तो तब होती है ना जब आप करंट बोरोइंग कर रखे हैं, अभी तो आप ये बोरोइंग किए ही नहीं है, करोगे ही। आई एम सेइंग दैट कि हम लोग, our company CNC can borrow at fixed rate 2.2, floating yield rate plus 0.4%, but our counterparty can borrow fixed rate 3.8, floating rate is plus 0.8%। So in fixed rate the difference is 2.2 to 3.8, and in floating rate the difference is only 0.4%। So the difference is 2.2 to 3.8, 1.6, and here it is 0.4। 1.6 में से 0.4 गया, 1.6 में से 0.4 गया, तो 1.2% का नेट गेन हम लोग को दिखाना है, लेकिन 1.2 में बैंक ले लेगा 0.2, तो नेट गेन बच जाएगा 0.4 ओनली, तीनों में डिवाइड हो जाएगा। अब अगर हम लोग फिक्स्ड रेट है वही बोरो कर लेंगे तो फिर स्वैप में जाएंगे ही क्यों? इफ द फिक्स रेट इफ फॉर अस इज 2.2%, वी विल बोरो, और अब मेरे को अगर फिक्स्ड ही चाहिए तो फिर मैं स्वैप में क्यों जाऊंगा? If for CNC company, suppose they require to borrow in fixed rate, and the fixed rate for them is 2.2% lower, they will borrow in fixed rate, then why there will be a swap? मेरे को जो चाहिए, अगर if I am able to do on my own, why I want a counterparty? So if CNC will borrow 2.2 and the another company will borrow yield rate plus 0.8, total cost will be yield plus 3%. But if CNC will borrow yield plus 0.4, the other party will borrow 3.8, then in that case it is yield plus 3.8, 4.2, yield plus 4.2. So हम लोगों का lower cost कहां आ रहा है? When CNC will borrow at 2.2% and the other party will borrow at yield plus 0.8%. But we have to assume that the CNC company does not want fixed borrowing. We have to assume that CNC company wants floating borrowing and the other company wants fixed borrowing. ये मानना ही पड़ेगा, otherwise there is no question of swap. Swap का फायदा नहीं. Borrowing वो करवाएंगे जिसमें खर्चा कम लगेगा. बट फिर अगर वो बोरोइंग मेरे को चाहिए तो फिर मैं स्वैप में क्यों जाऊं? व्हाट इज द रीजन फॉर गोइंग इनटू स्वैप? तो आपको क्वेश्चन में ये नहीं बताया, जरूरत नहीं. Whatever we are doing for getting the benefit, we want reverse. So if CNC is borrowing 2.2%, but they want floating. Floating में उनका कॉस्ट क्या होता? Yield plus 0.4, but आंसर आना चाहिए yield rate. And the other company 3.8 fixed, but their cost would be coming 3.4%. आपको स्वैप अरेंजमेंट करके दिखाना है. Giving 0.4% to bank, 0.4% CSC, 0.4% to the other party, counterparty. तो कभी कभी क्वेश्चन ऐसा होता है, we have existing borrowing, we want to convert our existing borrowing from fixed to floating, floating to fixed. तो उसमें तो हम लोग सीधा बैंक से जाके ही स्वैप कर लेते हैं, अदर पार्टी की जरूरत पड़ती नहीं है. Because in the developed countries, bank quotes swap rates. और उधर में भी 3 parties involved हो सकता है कि you have already borrowed floating, the other party has already borrowed fixed, but you both want to change your position. तो आपने बैंक के थ्रू स्वैपिंग किया है. So one is existing borrowing, one is new borrowing which will be happening. दोनों ही होता है ना. तो अब उसमें जाए क्या, तीसरा वाला में, एपीबी में, कि नहीं जाए? Should we go in APB1? Vishal? Because Padam is saying that one is easier one. ठीक है. A requirement. Yeah. Calculate the adjusted present value for the project, correcting any errors made in the net present value estimate above. मतलब they have done some NPV calculation which we need to rectify and then calculate EPV and conclude whether the project should be accepted or not. So all your calculation. So 15 marks is basically calculation. Comment on the corrections made to the original net present value estimation and explain the APB approach taken in part A, including any assumptions made. मतलब एक्चुअली जो करेक्शन आप करोगे फर्स्ट वाला में, उसके ऊपर you need to write theory in the second part, which is also big marks, 10 marks, not less. So 10 into 1.5, we can say 15 minutes, तो 20 lines करीब आंसर लिखना है आपको कम से कम. Comment on the corrections made to the original net present value estimation and explain EPB approach taken in part A, including any assumptions made. ठीक है, assumptions वगैरह भी कुछ है तो लिखना है. You have recently commenced working for B company and are reviewing a 4-year project. You have recently commenced working for B company and are reviewing a 4-year project which the company is considering for investment. Once again, you have recently commenced working for B company and are reviewing a 4-year project which the company is considering for investment. The project is in a business activity which is very different from B company's current line of business, maybe conglomerate. A net present value estimate has been made for the project. Exhibit to entry. So net present value उन्होंने कैलकुलेट करके दिखाया है. ठीक है. The following net present value estimates has been made for the project. The following net present value estimate has been made for the project. Sales revenue, direct project cost, interest, but interest we don't deduct, because when we find out present value, the cost of capital already includes interest. So in calculating cash flows, interest would not be deducted. तो एक गलती तो यही समझ में आ गया. Profit, tax, investments. Now depreciation is nowhere written. Whether they have calculated tax properly or not, I don't know, because the tax cannot be calculated on 8.01. The tax will be calculated after deducting depreciation, which is taxable depreciation. On that you need to calculate tax. Need to check investments and sale, cash flows, discounting factor, present value. ठीक है. Net present value is negative. Therefore, the recommendation is that the project should not be accepted. ठीक है. So there are basically, I am thinking, two types of mistakes are there. One is interest or maybe tax calculation. We will check. In calculating the net present value of the project, the following notes were made. In calculating the net present value of the project, the following notes were made. Since the real cost of capital is used to discount cash flows, so 7% is real. Neither the sales revenue nor the direct project cost have been inflated. It is estimated that the inflation rate applicable to sales revenue 8% and to the direct project cost 4%. तो गलत हो गया. If the inflation rate on sales cost and everything is same, then you can do the calculation based on real rate. But if the inflation on sales and the inflation on cost is different, then how you calculated real rate? How you ignored the inflation, whether 8 or 4 or what? So that means there is a problem in the calculation of cash flows also. The project will require an initial investment. ये जो मैंने logic दिया, ये last वाला आंसर में लिखना है 10 marks में. The project will require an initial investment of 38 million. Of this, 16 million relates to plant and machinery, which is expected to be sold for 4 million when the project ceases, and after taking any taxation and inflation impact into account, which is expected to be sold for 4 million when the project ceases, after taking any taxation and inflation effect into account. But then where they have written the depreciation, they have not written in the cash flow, which is out of 38 million, 16 million plant machinery. 4 million will be the expected sale value after 4 years when the project ceases, after taking into taxation and inflation impact into account. Maybe in the salvage value they have considered tax and all that, but the depreciation so they have not shown in the cash flow. The tax allowable depreciation is available on the plant and machinery at 50% in the first year, followed by 25% per year thereafter on a reducing balance. A balancing adjustment is available in the year the plant and machinery sold. B companies pays 20% tax on its annual taxable profit. No tax allowable depreciation is available on the remaining investment assets, and they will have a nil value at the end of the project. No tax allowable depreciation is available on the remaining investment assets, and they will have a nil value at the end of the project. About what they are saying, 38 minus 16. No tax allowable depreciation is available on the remaining investment asset, and they will have a nil value at the end of the project. But then if that is working capital, how can it will have a nil value? Maybe that is a fixed. उस पर depreciation भी नहीं होएगा, उसका salvage value भी नहीं. What is that? Don't know. Yes, they are saying that on the balance amount, no depreciation, no loss depreciation, माने कुछ भी नहीं होएगा, ना पैसा है. B company uses either a nominal cost of capital 11% or a real cost 7% to discount all projects, given that the rate of inflation has been stable at 4% for a number of years. अगर 4 भी है तो 11 minus 4 होता है क्या यार? वो भी तो गड़बड़ है. So we should be doing the calculation based on 11%, not 4%. Interest is based on B company's normal borrowing 150 basis points over the 10-year. फिर भी interest तो less करना नहीं है, they have deducted. At the beginning of each year, B company will need to provide working capital 20% at the anticipated sale revenue for the year. Any remaining working capital will be released at the end of the project. तो working capital तो उन्होंने लिया ही नहीं. We have to consider working capital investment separately. Working capital and depreciation have not been taken into account in the net present value calculation, since depreciation is not a cash flow and the working capital is returned at the end of the project. ये कौन सा बुद्धि हो गया? There is a time value of money. You are investing money now and you will get back your money after 4 years. So there is a time value of money loss and money cash flow, cash outflow, now cash inflow after 4 years. We need to consider depreciation is not a cash flow, but depreciation saves tax. The tax payment to government will be less. So either we need to deduct depreciation, add back depreciation, or we need to consider tax calculation after depreciation. So they have not done that. So all are logical. Interest should not be deducted because cost of capital includes the interest. So when we find out present value, automatically interest deducted. We don't have to deduct second time. Relating to inflation, when the inflation rate is different on sales and money cost, then we have to calculate nominal cash flow only, because how we will adjust the inflation from a particular discount rate. At the same time, relating to inflation, whenever the taxes are there, the tax you will pay to government on nominal figure. The government will not be taking tax on the real cash flow. So whenever tax is there, we are bound to calculate cash flows on nominal basis. Then I can say that since they have not mentioned that on the other parts of the asset there is no depreciation, कुछ नहीं लिखेंगे. But what is that we also need to consider, because maybe there is no salvage value. But why we won't get depreciation? Why? What is that is not allowable for depreciation also? And even no salvage value also. So it is not a land because no salvage value and no depreciation also. How this is happening? We are not going to do anything for that. But फिर भी थोड़ा अच्छा नहीं लग रहा है मन में. Interest हो गया. At the beginning of each year, B company need to provide working capital. Working capital we need to consider the initial working capital investment, further investment by increase in sales. Working capital and depreciation have not been, that need to be considered. यानी कि logics are very clear relating to all the things which need to be included in the cash flows. Now for calculating APB, beta, theta and all that, maybe that is last information. It is anticipated that the project will be financed entirely by debt, 60% of which will be obtained from subsidized loan scheme run by the government, which lends money at the rate of 100 basis point below the 10-year government yield rate, 1% less below the 10-year government yield rate of 2 points, so 1.5%. Issue cost related to raising the finance are 2% of the gross finance required. Now again I need to do 2 by 98 because in the project I require that investment. So 2 by 98 करना होगा और उसी पे अपने को टैक्स वगैरह निकालना है. तो यहां पर भी उन्होंने रिस्क फ्री रेट लिया है क्या? To calculate present value, whether they have used risk free rate or they have used the normal interest rate. What they have done? Because normal interest rate is what? Yield rate plus 150 basis point. So yield rate is 2.5 plus 1.5. So in the exam kit, you ask the question APB में कि they have done the present value with risk free rate. So यहाँ उन्होंने 2.5 नहीं किया है. और वहां लिखा था कि we can solve 4% also. क्या यार, एक ही कर लो यार. हाँ, लेकिन सही है. माने एग्जाम में अगर कोई भी स्टूडेंट 2.5% से सम कर रहा है, 4% से कर रहा है, दोनों सही है. बात ये टेंशन नहीं है. ठीक है ना? The remaining 40% will be funded from B company's normal borrowing source. It can be assumed that the debt capacity available to B company is equal to the actual amount of borrowing. तो कोई capacity अलग नहीं है. B company has identified a company, L company, which operates in the same line of business as that of the project. It is considering L company is financed by 40 million shares trading at 3.2 each and 34 million debt trading at 94 per 100. So 34 by 100 into 94 and number of shares into 3.2 is the market value of equity. Equity beta is estimated 1.5. We can convert this equity beta into asset beta. The current yield on the government treasury bills 2% and it is estimated that the market risk premium is 8%. So 8 into beta. L company pays tax 20%. Both B and C company pays tax in the same year as when the profits are earned. So कोई झमेला नहीं है. Tax का calculation अलग से नहीं करना. After tax we can do. Okay. So in the last paragraph we can calculate beta of asset by the formula. Beta of asset जो आएगा उससे we will be calculating 2 plus 8 into beta of asset, the required rate of return. उससे we will be calculating APB and all these debt benefit, that is the issue cost, the interest tax benefit, subsidized loan benefit and all that. We will be calculating present value at the rate of 4%. So net present value calculation में क्या क्या गड़बड़ी ठीक करना है? Sales revenue we need to increase by 8%. Cost we will increase by 4%. Interest we will not take. Profit will come. Tax we will take, but in that case tax separately निकालना होगा depreciation less करके. That is 16 into 50%, 8, 8 into 25%, 2 into 25% and so on. Depreciation निकालना होगा, which we will deduct from the income, then PBT come, then tax will come. Investment 38 ठीक है. Working capital investment we need to take. Working capital में जो increment होएगा, that also we need to take. And at the end the 4th year we will get back our working capital. Discounting factor जो beta of asset से आएगा and we will get present value, that will be called as APB. और फिर APB निकालने के बाद financing benefit. For financing benefit, whatever is the amount invested in the project into 2 by 98 into 60% into interest rate is how much? 1.5% into tax rate 20% into annuity factor. Then normal loan, total 2 by 98 into 40% into 4% into interest rate into tax rate into annuity factor, वो आ जाएगा. Then on the subsidized loan after tax benefit, that is the total loan into 60% into 4 minus 1.5 na. 4 minus 1.5. The subsidized loan benefit is how much? 4 minus 1.5, 2.5% into 80%. उस दिन मैं भूल गया था. Because 20% तो government ले लेगा into 80%. And issue cost into 2 by 98. Yeah. No, they have said na Vishal. Tax is paid in the same year. They have mentioned. Last line. D company, P company, same year as and when the profits are earned. So Jamila nahi. The story doesn't there. So in the financing benefit, you will be calculating 4 things. Issue cost, interest tax benefit, and subsidized loan benefit. Interest tax benefit will be two different loan different. So all those things we will adjust with the base case NPV and then you will get the APV. And if the APV is positive, we will be saying that the project should be done for the first one. For the second one, all the calculation you need to give the logic that whatever the mistakes are there, why you have done that. Comment on the correct made to the original and present value and explain the APB approach taken in A. APB why we are taking, why APB not NPB, that also need to be used. We have to write why APB not NPB. As we discussed that in case of APB we are required to analyze the risk separately, business risk, financial risk. If we ignore from where the funds will be raised, whether as an investment the project is doable considering the business risk. And then we want to analyze separately because of financing what is the extra effect, the interest tax benefits, subsidized loan and everything. So it will help us whenever there is in a project a different risk is involved or maybe different capital structure is there, we should be calculating APB. And assumptions made, assumptions are all because when you are using CAPM model, beta and all that, that is single index model based on past ratios, only beta is the factor, then we can say that whatever cash flows we are estimating, that cash flows is not 100% sure. That cash flows we can change. Whatever investment we are saying in the project may not be constant. That is the investment in the project, fixed assets, working capital, then the inflation, then the beta factor, all these are assumptions. So we can be doing sensitivity analysis for deciding whether the project should be done. Whatever the factors which are more sensitive, we can change their values and then see that what will be the effect on APV. And then we can decide whether the project should be done or not. वो last part में थोड़ा सा लिखना है, including any assumptions made that need to be written. So ये गड़बड़ नहीं था, ठीक ही बोला आपने. कहीं पर सीलिंग मिस्टेक कैलकुलेशन में हो सकता है, वो अलग बात है, बट इट वाज नॉट अ डिफिकल्ट क्वेश्चन. हाँ 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 हाँ, नहीं दिया आपने. हाँ, माने आपने ऐसा कर दिया होगा 36.6 इंटू 1.08. हाँ, समझ गया समझ गया. तो अब ये एक बार गलती हो गया, अब ये दोबारा नहीं होएगा, समझो. हाँ हाँ, अंडरस्टैंड अंडरस्टैंड. लेकिन मेरा ये बोलने का मतलब है जब ये गलती हुआ अब दोबारा कभी नहीं होएगा. यही अपने आप प्रैक्टिस करने का इंपॉर्टेंस है. हाँ हाँ, यस यस. माने अभी ये जो 7 दिन बाकी है या 10 दिन जो भी है, 8 दिन, अपने को ये सोचना है कि अब टॉपिक वाइज क्वेश्चंस नहीं करना है. अपने को ये सोचना होगा, बिकॉज टॉपिक वाइज अपने तब करेंगे, पहले एक पेपर कर लिए 3 घंटा में, समझ में आ गया ये सब कॉन्सेप्ट मेरा हिला हुआ है, तो उन चीजों को फिर टॉपिक से जाकर करेंगे, फिर रिवाइज करेंगे, फिर 2-3 दिन बाद एक मॉक पेपर देंगे. ऐसा करने से ही फीलिंग अच्छा आएगा, स्पीड बढ़ेगा, थिंग्स समझ में आएगा, कैसे स्क्रीन को मैनेज करना है, क्या खोलना है नहीं खोलना है, कहां जाना है, क्या अलाउड है नहीं अलाउड है, सब कुछ फीलिंग आएगा. अब इसमें कोई ऑप्शन वैल्यूएशन नहीं था, तो कोई पेपर में ऑप्शन वैल्यूएशन आएगा तो उसका भी प्रैक्टिस हो जाएगा, साथ में दूसरे भी होंगे. बट ये लास्ट टाइम स्टडी मस्ट है. इफ somebody has not completed the syllabus, तो भी, if somebody has completed syllabus, तो भी पास होना है तो ये करना जरूरी है, नंबर अच्छा लाना है तो ये करना जरूरी है सबको. नॉट दैट APM, स्किल लेवल, प्रोफेशनल लेवल, हर स्टूडेंट, every student need to do this practice on the practice platform only, and in 3 hours. Don't think about wrong or right. आप 3 घंटा पेपर दीजिए, देखिए उसके बाद कहां गए गड़बड़. मतलब मर्जर्स एक्विजिशंस वाला थ्योरी भी है उसमें बहुत, ठीक है. हाँ नहीं, अभी जैसे ये वाला जो समय जैसे आपने किया फिर भी गड़बड़ था, फिर हम लोग की, अब कुछ फीलिंग आया थोड़ा सा, तो अब चेष्टा करना है कि दूसरा क्वेश्चन जब मर्जर्स वाला आएगा तो वो राइट हुए हमसे. अब ये चेष्टा करनी है. हाँ 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 हाँ, नहीं नहीं, जैसे मैंने अभी क्या बोला कि मान लो यू हैव गिवन वन एग्जाम टुडे ऑन प्रैक्टिस प्लेटफॉर्म इन 3 आवर्स. ओके, आपको एग्जाम देने के बाद आपको अपना वीक एरिया समझ में आया कि मेरा वीक एरिया कॉर्पोरेट रिस्ट्रक्चरिंग, तो मैं बोल रहा हूं उसको 2-3 दिन फिर पढ़िए, लेकिन अपने केवल एग्जाम किट से ही क्वेश्चन नहीं करते रहेंगे. अब जब आपने एक पेपर किया, अपने को समझ में आया ये मेरा वीक एरिया है, तो मेरे को उसको तो दूसरा जगह से पढ़ना होगा ना, उस स्पेसिफिक एरिया को मेरे को इंप्रूव करना होगा. वो तो कोई ऑप्शन नहीं है. मैं तो नहीं बोल रहा हूं कि आज पेपर करने के बाद कल दोबारा फिर करेंगे 3 घंटा में, नहीं. अब एक करने के बाद, एनालिसिस करने के बाद वो वीक एरिया पे काम करेंगे 2 दिन, उसके बाद फिर नया पेपर करेंगे, तो करना ही है. तो आपको अगर मर्जर्स कॉर्पोरेट रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग में गड़बड़ लग रहा है, तो मैं ऐसा नहीं बोलूंगा कि एग्जाम किट से सारा क्वेश्चन कर लीजिए, लेकिन 2-3 तो क्वेश्चन करके अपना फीलिंग को ब्रॉडन करना पड़ेगा, करना पड़ेगा यार, अदरवाइज होगा कैसे, गलतियों को इंप्रूव कैसे करेंगे. तो नेक्स्ट दिन अपने क्या करेंगे कि जो मैंने बोला था ना, दिसंबर और वो वाला पेपर, वो PDF वाला करेंगे, बिकॉज मैं यहां पर नहीं जाना चाहता हूं. मैं आप लोगों को ऑप्शन देना चाहता हूं कि प्रैक्टिस 1 2 3 यू डू ऑन योर ओन, और एक पेपर में टेस्ट लूंगा ही, मैं बोला, तो वेडनेसडे को बात कर लेंगे कब टेस्ट लेंगे. ओके, जहां भी वीक एरियाज है, एवरीबॉडी नीड टू स्टडी ऑब्वियसली, बट हाउ यू विल कम टू नो योर वीक एरियाज, by doing practice platform पे पेपर? नहीं नहीं, वेनेसडे के बाद रखते हैं ना. You all are studying at a different mode now as compared to earlier. So give it time. Exam तो next week है यार. Better रहेगा. I will explain some more questions, some more logic, whatever you are studying, you can ask doubts. फिर उसके बाद टेस्ट में जाते हैं. And you are automatically doing test on the practice platform that you are doing. Okay? माने मैं टेस्ट कैसे लूंगा? मैं एक पर्टिकुलर टाइम जो डिसाइड करेंगे अपने, उस टाइम पे मैं पेपर मेल करूंगा, पीडीएफ. ठीक है? आप उसका आंसर मेरे को नॉर्मल एक्सेल और वर्ड फाइल में लिख कर दोगे 3 घंटा के अंदर. और आप खाली इतना ही करोगे, आप कोई चीज देखोगे नहीं. ये जेन्युइन आपको बनना है. हाँ, ठीक है. हाँ, वही बात है. तो फिर जब आप दोगे तो मैं उसको चेक करके इवेल्युएट करके आप लोगों को इवेल्युएशन दूंगा. ऐसा तो उससे थोड़ा फीलिंग आ जाएगा. ऐसा. ठीक है? Okay, meeting on Wednesday for the PDF papers, not this one. Or any doubt, whatever, there is no issue. Thank you. Thank you to both of you. Thank you, Sandeep. Tada.